Yeah, hello, how is everybody doing? I know I got that echo, but there's a reason because I'm going for cheap views. I'm going for the cheap click tonight.
Just got notified you're on the air.
I'm going for cheap clicks tonight. I
Cheap
brought
clicks.
in eye candy. Apple's gonna sue me for stealing the eye. I brought in eye candy. Brought in my wife Lola. Look at them, fellas.
Hi guys.
You need more lighting. Hello there.
All natural, squeezably soft. So anyway, so let's hope we can make her laugh and they'll jump. So she's actually going to be doing. There's a reason why she's here. She's going to be doing her first Comic-Con without me this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect a colossal failure for her.
No,
Don't say that. Don't say that.
No,
she needs me. She needs me.
That's not
you
good.
need me more.
Is that right? All right.
Yeah.
Well,
But she's got your son. You got nobody.
no, yeah. I'm by myself. Man. It's gonna be rough for me.
And I guarantee you, the son's gonna draw more than you think.
My question is, who's gonna take care of me? Who's gonna go get me food and stuff? It's gonna be a rough time. Let me hit the intro, and we'll be back with interesting stuff from this comic industry, or what's left of it, after the intro. Ready, guys?
Roll that bean footage. At this convention you're doing by yourself, Varian, how close is Dave the Supreme?
I'm not sure. I don't see the list of people who are there, so
I was gonna say,
Mm.
you buy, he might fly.
M3SOD says, "Good God, man! Thank you, sir. Thank you." We're going for cheap clicks tonight, sir. That's what we're doing. Tell your friends. Guys, hello, everyone.
Ted's in the chat.
Is he? Yes. Ted is here. Good day, Ted. Good day to you. Good day, M3SOZ. I am Varian Grant, co-owner of the last 7 years of Last Call Comics, founder of Indie Vote Media. That's what you're watching here. I got my start making comic books in 2008. My first book published was a black and white interior action comedy called Psycho Sirens. I'm a father, a husband, a geek, a creator, a publisher, an also reluctant taxpayer, and an artist. Shamefully not in that order. You're watching Indie Vote Live tonight. I am joined by Miss Eye Candy, Miss 44G, my wife Lola. Wave to the camera.
Hello everyone.
Okay. Also, these two guys who balance out.
Guys, you're just putting it nicely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Unlike the two bald head twin brothers my wife has in a headlock, I got two other guys with me. How are you guys doing?
Good, man.
It's been a long day, but we're gonna get into it.
All right, who are you, Mr. Zim?
Randy Zimmerman. Been doing comics for many a decade. Started doing independent books, Arrow Comics, Massive Comics, Weeby Comics. Then just about any independent company that would take me on. Then I, for the last 10 years, I've been doing Flint Comics and Entertainment, which is a free-to-readers entertainment newspaper. We went through 100 issues, 10,000 print run per issue, and decided to stop that and to start doing a little YouTube work. I'm at Zim Geek on the YouTube channel, Zim Geek. Anytime you want to listen to some comic history or get a little lesson in cartooning, I am up on there. Plus, I'm working on a few other comic projects, and now I am a convention promoter, I guess, coordinator and promoter. I have a show coming up here at the end of the week. that I'm working real hard for. Just got done putting together a bunch of grab bags today. We're giving away a bunch of free comics for the first 150 or so paying attendees to the show.
Nice.
On Saturday. Flint Farmers Market, the Flint Fall Comic Fest is what it is.
Actually, shameless self-plug, my son will be there selling his original artwork. So,
Root Beer Press.
yeah, that's him. That's him.
Yeah.
This
So
other gentleman in the red shirt, what's that shirt about? What's that shirt say?
Run with the pack.
Is that a Wolfpack shirt?
No, technically it's not, but it could pass if I wanted to go into a wrestling show. I think people would probably, yes, too sweet. But anyway, Louis Brett Raven, 26-year professional in the comics, role-playing game, and otherwise entertainment media industries. I've worked for Upper Deck, Marvel, Hasbro, worked with Randy at Arrow Comics, Caliber Press, and sort of other publications. And I am back into podcasting here at IndieVolt. And this Thursday, I'll be launching Quote the Raven at 9 p.m.
Okay. Our guest has joined us. They are backstage. So I will wait a while before we bring them in. I'll let them get all formulated and ready to face our firing squad. But yeah, well, today we're gonna have Brian Law from his book is he has a Staunch Ambition, and it's a book that I love. It's a sci-fi space book, but it really it subverts those expectations in a very good way. Everyone wants to subvert expectations, and they're not. His book does. He also is the creator of Infernal City Firehouse, which I have not checked out yet, but that's his newest book. So he'll be here to talk about that with us. And so that's what we're doing. I didn't do graphics today.
Oh,
Boomy. I didn't do graphics.
oh.
But I do have questions. So I will read those questions. I know. I'm sorry, everybody. You got to deal with my public school
In
reading.
the private chat, Randy can read them that way.
I could.
No, it's all right. Just read them if you think they're.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can.
Either way.
It's okay.
My public school reading isn't that bad, is it?
No.
No, it's not.
I think that says.
Trico's in the house. Hey, Trico.
Hey, Trico, how's it going? Again, we got Ted Davies, Trico.
M3SOZ.
Yep, M3SOZ, who is he's got to be a guest at one point. We got to get him in here.
We got 6 watching now.
Yeah. So yeah,
at least according to the tubes.
the tubes. Let me see here. Checking. Let me check. Yeah. Oh well, for some reason my Stream Deck isn't telling me how many people are watching, but when I need it, it's never there for me. Anyway.
I got 6 here, but YouTube.
Yeah.
They could be lying.
So, you guys, Randy, you got your show you're doing this weekend.
Crazy.
Lola's got her show that she's doing this weekend. You're the promoter of her show. She's doing the show. Louis, what are you doing this weekend?
Coordinator. You know how that goes.
Well, I'm probably going to, like I said, Thursday night, 9 p.m. I'm launching the first episode of Quote the Raven, the podcast. And then after that, I'm going to be probably doing a live draw this weekend.
Okay. Make sure everybody check out that live draw. Let's see here. Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Hey, great, guys. Making sure that you're there.
Sorry, I stepped away. Let's see if the video works.
No problem. So welcome to IndieVolt. I'm going to try to bring up some of your stuff here.
Yeah, is my video working?
Say again?
I'm not seeing me on the video.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like you're talking in front of a curtain, too.
Yeah, I cannot find my headphone mic, so I looked everywhere, and I switched cars with the wife, and so now I think I have them in my other car.
Ah,
Oh, nice video.
yeah. I think that you might be looking at us, and your camera is showing maybe the back of your. Are you on your phone? Maybe
Yeah, I've never used this computer with the camera. There's, yeah, maybe there's a camera on the other side.
We're looking at your page.
Yeah.
So we got Staunch Ambition up, and your newest book, Inferno City Firehouse, which I have not got a chance to get either of those yet, but I do have Staunch Ambition #1. I believe I got 2. Wow, that's a cool effect you got on the cover here. I do have this particular piece here as a print. Randy, Lewis, this picture here,
Mm-hmm.
this picture does not do the print justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that print is gorgeous. Like it's gorgeous. You have to see the actual one. It's gorgeous. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Staunch Ambition, Brian. And I have a running joke with Brian at conventions. I call him Ken because I don't know if he remembers, but there was a show I called him Ken at, and now I just keep doing it to the point where sometimes I forget his name is Brian. So, but Brian, tell us a little bit about Staunch Ambition, what it's about, and the ins and outs, who drew it, the writing process for it.
Is Brian still there? I don't think he's there.
Oh,
He's there. I think he dropped out.
oh,
I think he dropped out.
I'm sure. Was it? There he is. There he is.
There he is. Hey, forward this time.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
There we go. Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
Technology. Staunch Ambition. You guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So Staunch Ambition is a sci-fi supernatural. The idea is if in our future, through advanced technology, we entered the supernatural realm. So, as you can see in the title there, you got Staunch Ambition. Staunch Industries is in the comic, and they built the space station that's called the Ambition, which is crucial to the story, what you see stationed on an angle. So, the characters, of course, it's driven by the characters in the context of what would happen if we entered the supernatural with advanced technology. What would the implications be? So one of the main characters in the story you got is Azarus, and in the future we have these genetically engineered worker clones that they create, mixing animal and human DNA, and they make these clones without sexual organs and a limited self-awareness, so that they'll just focus on work. They're not going to go off and colonize or, want to just be independent and reproduce. But classic sci-fi, Azure starts to question, what is it? What am I? It's not so much AI becoming human. It's kind of like a question of what does it mean to be male or female? What does it mean to be animal or human kind of issues is what Azure is dealing with. And then we got a couple of the other main characters. You can see there on the screen we got issue 2 is Nimrod. He's a genetically engineered clone as well. That it's kind of an eccentric genius that just is a pain in the ass, but they put up with him because he's so brilliant. So, and Nimrod gets the ball rolling in issue 1 with the shit hitting thing. So, and then another main character we got in here is Riel, which you see on the cover of issue 1, and she is one of the lead commanders or supervisors on the Ambition space station. So,
Now you I thought was funny too. This was it the Michigan Comic Con? I got a chance to put Ted and Brian together. And it's okay. I can go past that feedback. And it was funny because they sat and they talked for a while.
are you guys getting feedback?
Yeah, it's a little bit, but I think it's just because you're playing it on YouTube. But
yeah, I don't have my. For God's sake, I can't find my headphones, so I don't know.
that's okay.
Did you want me to call back in on my phone? I have a Bluetooth headset for my phone.
Yeah, if you want to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try doing that. You can just
Okay.
put me on pause for now.
Okay. The same link will work. If you need me to send you another link, though, I can.
Send me the link. Are you able to? I'll send the link myself.
Okay, I'll send you another link. All right, let's see here. Let's see. I need to move some stuff around here. Sorry, guys. My Oh, all right. Let me see. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, good. Might be hearing me double too, because what you don't know is that, well, I guess you can figure this out, is that Lola's like behind me, like she's over that way. She's actually across the room, but apparently the mic is so damn good it's picking up both people. So
I can't hear hardly any echo now, so you're all good.
yeah, I let me see here. 1 second. Oh. Anyway, guys, yeah, bear with me. It's been a long day. My technical ability is
Wavering,
yeah, today it's just
flaccid.
Is Brian the same Brian I'm thinking he is?
which Brian do you think it is?
Did he ever have any connection to CrossGen?
I'm not sure. Brian, can you hear?
I'm connecting up on my phone.
Okay, I sent you another link. So Trico Luckin says, Brian, well, I know that guy. James Dunn is in the house. How you doing, James? And of course, let me see someone else. I didn't. We got to get Dave, the Supreme Man. Oh, okay, there we
Dropped out again.
Oh, he's right there.
There he is.
There he is.
Yes, modern technology, man. Now I'm on video, and I don't think we got feedback.
No, you're good.
All right, can you see me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I finally see it. All right, good, man. Sorry about that, guys. I'm kind of like, well, this is new, and I'm actually at a loss without my headset, but got the Bluetooth now, so.
Yeah, sounds better.
Sweat.
So you were talking about your book, Star Champion. I'm going to put it back up on the screen. Give me a second. Just got to make sure I don't. Okay, there we go. All right, so yeah, you're up to issue 3.
Yeah, there's a preview issue, which has a prologue and some of the making of the book, and then I have issues 1, 2, and 3 are out, completed, and I'm currently chipping away at issue 4, but I decided in between issues 3 and 4 I was going to do something different, which we'll get to, I guess, is Inferno City Firehouse that you can see at the top. So, because it was an opportunity that I kind of came across that nobody's doing, and so I was like, I got to do that. I felt called to do it. So,
and that's a book. Now that's a book about firemen. Now I don't know anything about that book. So,
well, the idea came to me. One of my fans was buying my sci-fi book, and he saw a poster I did for the Detroit Fire Department. My grandfather worked for the Detroit Fire Department for years, 26 years, retired a senior lieutenant. And then I lived with a fighter in Detroit when I was younger, and through that, he had saw some independent comics I worked on, and they wanted to do a poster for the 42nd Annual Firefighters Convention, which it's kind of like the Super Bowl. This is a big show that goes from different states. And that year, when I was going to college, it was going to be in Michigan. So Mike Nevin saw what I was doing, and he was like, I want to get a poster and shirts with a fireman taking on a dragon wrapped around a Renaissance Center, the GM building now. So I did that poster years ago, and when the fireman was buying my sci-fi book in Warren over here, he was like, you need to do a book about firefighters. When he saw that poster, he's like, he's a geek, and he's frustrated because there's there's cop books and all kinds of different things, but he says that no one's doing anything on firefighters. And I kind of thought to myself, yeah, right, I don't have time for that. I'm sure you guys can understand, all you creators. But at the same time, I was intrigued, so I did some Google searches and looked into it, and I found like one graphic novel, and I found maybe a few minor things, and I thought about my whole childhood, and I could barely remember really anything on firefighters. So I decided to go ahead and do that, and so I started doing research. I have stories in there. These are true stories I took from actual firefighters, and I combined them together into a narrative. And I took stories from my grandfather, from my childhood, from inspired from the firefighters I lived with, and then I did ride-alongs with the Detroit Fire Department and did all this research, and then put this one-shot graphic novel together.
And now the sales for that have been doing pretty good. I know you have it at pretty much every convention now that you're at. Are you out this weekend at the show?
Yeah. Are you guys going to be at Monroe? I heard some people are doing a show this weekend.
Yeah. I'll pulling double duty. There is the Flint Fall Fest, which my wife is doing for me, which is Randy's show, and then I'll be in Monroe as well. So there's 2 shows this weekend, both in Michigan.
Okay.
Now, Brian, you never got a chance to give to Randy's show, have you, in Flint?
No,
I haven't. How many days is your show?
just today, just one day, 9 to 5. Yeah, it's in a farmer's market.
It's a great show.
Yeah, I should try checking that out. I'd like to do different areas, and I haven't done Flint yet.
Yeah, we have another show coming up on April 14th.
April 14th.
It's 18th, I think. That Saturday next year.
Okay. What's the name of the show again?
That show is the Downtown Flint Comics Con.
Okay.
Then he has another one he just started in
Saginaw.
Saginaw.
Because the one at the
Nice.
Flint market went over so well, they invited me to go up to the SVRC marketplace up in Saginaw. So
Oh, nice. Yeah, well, I'd love to do one
right
of
at the
them.
end of June.
Yeah, I'd love to do a new show. I've done the Monroe, and some of these shows you do over and over, and it's nice to try something different.
Yeah.
Plus, I would love to see you there. I've seen you at several shows, and it's nice to be on with you guys.
Yeah.
Nice of you to be on. Your stuff looks awesome, by the way.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've got some great people working with me. If you scroll up a little, I can take credit for some of the art. If you scroll up, you'll see. I think. Oh no, it must be down. But let me just tell you about those 2 covers. The one on the left is done by Clayton Crane at the top of the Infernal City Firehouse.
Mhm.
The explosion one is Clayton Crane, but the cover on the right is Neil Anderson. He's a Michigan artist too, local guy. Guy's brilliant. He does the coloring in my Staunch Ambition. So if you scroll down, that's another cover by Clayton Crane, the one that's I made into an animated GIF here.
Yeah.
Clayton. Thanks. Yeah, Clayton Crane is probably my favorite artist working. I just love his work, and I kind of studied not just his cover work. He does great sequential art, and I started checking his stuff out with Valiant that he was doing Rye. It's like a futuristic samurai book, and I was just very influenced by him and honored to work with him. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, I think you can see a couple other covers. I have some video. I have original music. Okay, so you see there, that cover on the left, I can take credit for the one with the Azarus appearing, contemplating the earth. And then Freddie Williams II did my cover to issue 1, and then I colored it. Freddie Williams, I'm a big fan of as well. And then Neil Anderson did the cover again for not only Infernal City Firehouse, but for issue 2 of Staunch Ambition. So, and Erwin Arosa is my interior artist on both books. He does the pencils for Staunch, which get colored by Neil Anderson. But I decided, because the firefighter book's so gritty and based on true stories, I was tempted to do color, but I thought, it's a lot of extra work, money, and time, and it just Erwin's interior art. If you go to the tab Infernal City Firehouse, go to the next tab, you can see some internal work by Erwin Arosa. The black and white at the top header, you can see his internal quality. That's like a double page spread inside the book, and his pencils, don't necessarily need color, especially for something gritty. So then if you scroll down, there's some more black and white stuff, I think, toward the bottom of the page. Erwin Arosa is amazing artist, and I'm also honored to work with him as well.
And if you're listening on
that's all Erwin's work there too. He did the coloring and that drawing.
Okay. Sweet.
If you're listening on Indievo Radio, you can check it out at staunchambition.com. We have people listening on our radio station right now live as well. So if they need to, they can check out staunchambition.com, all one word. There's the
That's the original poster that the firefighters saw and then planted the seed for me to do the book.
now this I'm a little taken aback by this cover because that dragon is his head and about his jaw. Like, well, I guess is that a fin? Would you call that a fin? That fin is
Yeah,
right
yeah,
damn near
almost.
into the window where the Last Call Comics office is at. So I see what
funny.
you're doing, Brian. I see what you're doing. You're trying to scrape my office. That's fine. That's fine. No, I like that. That's a gorgeous image.
Thank you.
So you'll be at Monroe this weekend.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah, look at these.
Look at these pages, man. Irwin
Wow.
is I mean, it's breathtaking. That's why I was like, you know
Yeah.
what, the pencils tell it all.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
And it oh, go ahead.
there's a point where
This
I
is
think
probably my favorite page here in the whole book, and that says
This
a
one here?
lot. That page, yes, because it's showing two different firefighters going into a situation, and I wanted to show the different perspectives from them going to different areas, and then to feel like there's a sense of misdirection or confusion, and I just love the way the panel layouts came out. It's disoriented, but at the same time, you should be able to follow it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That looks good. It looks good. Now, I've been doing this thing lately where we've been having creators on, and I try to get their books at some point to give away. So I got to get
Sure,
some
right.
copies of Staunch or Motor City, Inferno City Firehouse, whichever one you feel like. And we want to give it away here on the show to our listeners and viewers. We try to get them to, sometimes they like getting free stuff. Everyone loves free stuff.
Is there
Sure,
a,
yeah, we can give away. I got preview issues, so we could give away, like, let's say two. I mean, how many? You're talking about like two preview issues, and then
That's fine.
and then I can give away one issue of Inferno City Firehouse.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. So that's
you also
roll
need
that
to
out
plan, you also need to plan a link in the chat
Will
for
do.
where people can go and buy this book. This is
I
amazing.
see you have a store here.
thank you so much.
And if somebody wants to buy this book online, I said you got to print it, Inferno City Firehouse. That's the Motor City edition.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might do another one, maybe even like a series of more Detroit ones, or maybe like a Windy City, like Chicago. So this one's called the Motor City edition because it's technically the book's name's Inferno City Firehouse, but you can see it says Motor City with the graffiti over the top of the motor.
You get to know a few of the firefighters in different cities. It'd be pretty awesome to get their tales, their personal
yeah.
stories, and put that into a graphic novel or incorporate it into that.
Oh yeah,
That would be sweet.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I did. I took ones from. I have plenty, and I picked the ones like one of the stories from my grandfather is like, it's literally a punch in the gut. And when I would tell people I could barely. I would get choked up every time I would just explain it. And then when you should see Irwin's, when I was sending him the script and he was going to do the layouts, he was like, this is hard to draw. This is really hard to draw. And the book is a very serious. It's got some very serious content in it, and so
Good drama. Yeah, good heroics. It'd be awesome. Yeah.
And the thing is, these are real heroes. These aren't.
Yeah.
These are the people that I think the piece that I always like is it's after 9/11, which coincidentally is coming up. But there's Superman and I think Crypto, and they're standing in front of a wall, and it's got firemen and it's tribute to 9/11. And
oh,
Superman
nice.
has one bubble. He's looking at the picture and he says, "Wow," and it's like, wow, that I like that piece. Really nice.
Actually, I should mention that Metro Times did an article on the book before it came out, and a director doing a documentary on firefighters and PTSD called Florian Nights. Saw the article, and he had contacted me and said he wanted to show me in the book, in the documentary, he wanted to get past the idea that firefighters are superheroes. Even though they're called to be heroic, they're human, right? So he thought, wow, he saw this graphic novel about true stories about firefighters, and typically, graphic novels are, often dealing with superheroes. So they came to Detroit and filmed me, the book, and then they actually did ride-alongs also with the fire department where I did my research. Mm-hmm. So he's actually editing that documentary right now. So I'm really anticipating, as long as I don't get cut out, looking forward to this documentary.
Yeah. Are you? I know that you have music too.
Yes, original music for the books that I sent. Every book someone buys, I send them one of the songs. And like, if you played that video, I don't know if it would go through the audio, but that video has one of my favorite songs in it. So, but you can hear the different songs in the videos on my website. I have different videos for the Kickstarters, and I use a different song in each one.
Let me see if I can. Hold on. Let me.
Yeah, rock that.
I can do that. I might not be able to, but I'm gonna give it a try. I know that sometimes it allows me to share the audio. There we go. All right, let's see here. Let's
see if we can break it. It's I think quiet in the beginning, but
yeah, I have to. Sometimes my computer decides to do its own thing. It's very punk that way.
So I've had original art or music done by a group called Elements of Cadence that I just simply backed one of their Kickstarters, and it looks like it's loading. And they took my music and actually made produced a song based upon my music.
There you go. Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
That did work.
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, very sci-fi.
Yeah. That's pretty sexy. I'm jealous. I want a video.
Huh. But they're fun. They're a lot of work, but it's nice when they're done.
Yeah, that looks nice. I'm jealous. I can't even look at it anymore. I'm taking it off the screen. I can't look at it. I'm jealous. We're joined by Ted Davies. Ted and Brian, you guys met at Michigan Comic Con. I was there for that.
Hey, how you doing, sir? Hey, everybody.
Hey, Ted.
Hello.
So yeah, I did. Ted, I don't know if you got a chance to check that video out. It was a pretty cool video, Staunch Ambition. And now that CD, can you order that through the store as well?
Yeah, both. B and I started my first book with Staunch Ambition, and I did the website Staunch Ambition. When I did Inferno City Firehouse, I just put that on Staunch Ambition as its own tab, as you saw. So, but the store has both. It has the Staunch Ambition single physical copies, the Inferno City Firehouse physical copy, and then you can buy the digitals and then the posters, and then it's also on. They're both on Comixology as well. So.
Yeah, gorgeous work. Each cover. We talked at Michigan Comic Con, and I joked with you. I said each of your covers. I feel like and I know you do. You'll have a lot of your covers as prints, and they all look really nice. They all have something. But that issue number, I think it was 3. That's just a gorgeous cover. So yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. So you're at you're gonna do Monroe. What's your next show after that outside of Michigan?
I'm gonna do Columbus Wizard World, coming up in October, I think it is. So looking forward to that.
My stock thanks you. I have stock in Wizard World. These guys know it. So whenever someone does a Wizard World show, I'm like, one more penny.
Are you gonna be down there?
No, I will not. I don't even support the company that I have stock in. No, I just couldn't make the time work. I would love to do it, but it doesn't like it's going to work out for me. However, I will be down there that weekend. I was invited as a guest to a show that is the same weekend, about an hour away. So if perhaps maybe we'll get together and have lunch or something, you and I, and we'll talk comics. I'm trying to get Randy to go to that show with me. It's the Black Power.
I'm not going to Ohio unless I have to.
It's the Black Power Comic Con, celebrating African American culture in comics.
Oh, nice.
And I think that Randy Zimmerman would be a perfect fit at that show.
That would be interesting to go to.
Yeah. If I've witnessed anybody do African American things in comics, it's Randy.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. So, Brian, I want to thank you for coming on with us. Where can our listeners and viewers find more of you besides your site, Staunch Ambition?
I have social media for both Staunch Ambition and Inferno City Firehouse. So there's Facebook for both, Twitter and Instagram for both.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then of course the website is staunchambition.com, and on Google you can find everything through Google as well. Typing it in, Inferno City Firehouse or Staunch Ambition.
Are you doing the Great Lakes show in a couple of weeks?
No, I'm not doing that one this year.
How about the Grand Rapids Con at the start of November?
I want to do the Grand Rapids. That's a 3-day show, right?
Yes, it is. It's a big show.
Yeah, I want to go out there, but I try to avoid shows where I have to pay room and board, So unless I can
completely.
So, it's like, okay, you have to buy the table and then you have to,
that's
buy
a huge
room and yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna try doing some more shows like that. If I maybe I hook up with somebody who wants to split a Airbnb or something like that. So I've done shows like that, but that one Grand Rapids is definitely worthwhile.
Oh yeah, it's a big show.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
I like Grand Rapids. I like the show.
I'm gonna be moderating a panel, probably with Jim Shooter.
Oh, sweet!
At the show,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, maybe I'll just come out
to
to
Variant
visit.
tells me, but he might be lying.
We're gonna get Randy on that panel.
I know I'm a moderator there anyway. I'll probably get Gail Simone. I'm hoping. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it'll be cool. No one ever gets me on the panel, unless it's like the "Don't Be Like This Guy" panel, which I did do.
Is that what it is? You did a "Don't Be Like This Guy" panel?
Yeah, I did. And Katrina Rhodes, who's been on the show, she bogarted her way into my panel. Yeah. That panel is online too, by the way. I have to show you guys sometime. Maybe I'll link it. It's called "Don't Be Like Me," and I'm giving out advice about not to be like me. I did it at Space 2012. Fact checker.
Rob Corby had you on a "Don't Be Like Me" panel.
Yeah, it was actually my idea. I asked him, "Can I do it?" And he
did that?
Yeah.
So he had a panel this year with a big voodoo doll where he was sticking pins in it that looked like me. That's what he said he was going to do. I'm great for scheduling dates. That's Brian. In case you don't know, I always seem to land on the wrong date. So like
really?
my show this weekend's right up next to a Monroe Con.
Oh yeah, that's always crap when.
Yeah. It's impossible to schedule dates without hitting in somebody else's show. My fall show, I moved my fall show up a month and then bumped into the Monroe Con. I moved it up a month because the last 2 years that I've had it, I've bumped up against a breast cancer run downtown Flint that's got 20,000 people walking.
Oh, man.
There's no parking for like a 2-mile radius.
Right, maybe there's something here. You can get a lawyer and then you can just start suing these other ones, you know?
No, I started asking the Cancer Society when their date was. They wouldn't tell me, so I moved it to September, right up next to MonroeCon. Now, Gary, who runs MonroeCon, was nice to tell me his date next year, so I'll make sure I don't hit that the same weekend.
That's got to be tough.
I'll be up against somebody else's con.
I'm gonna throw a con just to.
It's like the Cap City Con is what
Another day, another
that,
con.
and then Great Lakes Con is the week after that. So,
well, I gotta tell you guys a funny story. I sent Randy a flyer. It was over the weekend, Randy? A copy of a flyer for.
oh yeah,
and it's got Randy and a couple other people on this flyer.
Kevin Stambita.
Yeah, Kevin Zambita,
Lady
James
Brooks.
Tovar.
Yes.
Yeah. And Randy's like, I have no recollection of that con. I don't remember it. What the hell is this? It was
At all.
And I'm like, it was my con, Randy, and I canceled it like 2 months before it happened. And he's like, oh, well, that would explain why I don't remember it. But Randy was an invited guest. Those flyers were all around Detroit too. I felt so embarrassed at the cancel my con, but I wasn't getting the type of tables. People weren't buying tables.
Don't throw a show
Randy-
at Kobo. Don't throw a show at Kobo.
Randy,
Yeah,
you know, like there's like cons when, you know, a long time ago, there was not that many cons. Now there's a con every weekend, it seems.
It seems, yeah.
So it's quite the competition now. And I don't know about you, but I'm like talking to people constantly, even at Michigan, the last con I did. Oh, this is my first show. Oh, it's constantly people is like telling me that that's the first show they've been at still.
Mhm.
Well, we started doing the shows up here in Flint because of my newspaper. I did a Flint Comics newspaper where once a year I'd throw like a little party just to thank everybody for letting the paper be out. And it got to be quite a big thing. So I stopped doing the paper because we weren't getting a lot of advertising and my time was being chewed up with commercial work. But we're still doing the shows because the shows are still real popular. And I
have your last paper.
Do you? Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm keeping that one.
Yeah.
Now, Brian, did you get a copy of Retrieve at all from Ted when you were at Michigan Comic Con? Did you guys?
Retrieve? No, I don't think so.
Okay,
Ted's blanked out his screen. I think he's gone black.
Yeah. Oh, credit gonna take a hit.
So Lola.
Yeah, she went to do something. I think she'll be back. Oh, there's Teddy sideways. Ted,
Sideways.
Now you and Brian have similar.
He's draw attention to himself, you know.
You guys have similar themes in your books. You've got they're both sci-fi books dealing with almost the question of what's it mean to be human.
Nice.
Would you say that's accurate, Ted? Can you hear me?
Ted's screen is frozen. It's that Tawas Wi-Fi.
No, he was moving around, but I'm not sure if he's meant to.
Is he up in Tawas?
No. Yeah, he is. Way up north.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a message in my. Can you hear us? Oh, let's see. Hold on. All right.
Yeah, I would love to check
Crank
it
the
out.
generator enough. Ted, crank your generator.
Yeah, I don't know how to send the link to the.
He was getting some bad storms, and probably just to the south of him earlier too. So that Wi-Fi connection might be pretty bad right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's spinning. He's spinning.
Yeah, he's got the spinning wheel of death.
I'm glad I don't live up there anymore.
He'll probably come back. He's got.
I was even further north than Tawas when I lived in Michigan, so I was really shot.
Not very often Channel 12 breaks in to give a weather report for an hour and a half, but they did it today because the storm sprung up out of nowhere and started swirling. So there were tornado warnings out all over the place. So,
haven't had a drop of rain down here.
No, we hardly got rain. We had a little rain earlier today, but I'm in Flint, or a little south of Flint.
Yeah. Ted just told me he's coming back in. So I'm waiting. But yeah, you guys have books that kind of deal with the question of, what is it to be human, the soul, and they're very similar. Not really the story isn't, but like the question that the story kind of makes you ask yourself. How did you?
Yeah, that's a common theme in sci-fi, and I think it's worthwhile. So,
I'm sorry, my wife just unmuted herself. I had her.
I have the power.
Okay, is that what it is?
Yes.
I'm like, I don't understand how she unmuted herself.
Funny, you don't look like He-Man.
So with again, your book is for sale. You'll be at the Comic-Con selling them. I mean, I see you at pretty much every Comic-Con I do. Can always look around and usually find you. It's very rare that you're not at the show. I do have a question, and I was going to ask everybody because this is one of the questions for tonight. Apparently, there was someone over the weekend who got they got in trouble at a show. They were told that their booth setup was too elaborate.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's so general. What do you mean?
Well, they were told that their setup for their booth was too elaborate. Their tent they had, it was an outside show, an outside art show, and they were told that their tent and their display was way too elaborate.
How many belly dancers did he have there?
Yeah,
no
exactly.
belly dancers. No belly dancers.
Still
Nope.
too elaborate, huh?
The giraffes might have been too much.
See, it's the elephants. It's the tiger show that was the problem.
And the girl who was telling me that, she said, I thought this would be great because they put me in charge of all these artists. And I thought, oh man, I'm going to have these great conversations with these creative people. And she said it was a pain in the butt. She had to walk another artist out to her table, out from her table to her car 3 days in a row because she was afraid another artist wanted to attack her. And the other artist did want to attack her, so she had to be walking.
They were mad at her way too elaborate display.
No, that was a different situation. But the person who had the elaborate display was asked to take down their tent and to go buy a more or less ornate tent. Do you think this is something is that a real issue? Is that a real problem?
Were there tassels and bells or what? I guess we'd need to know more of the situation.
I've thought about playing my music, and I have played my music, but I don't want to play it too loud at my table next to other people. But to a degree, yeah, you gotta kind of keep your display to your table and not you definitely don't want it to infringe on other people's booths.
I mean, you're talking to me who my booth looks like St. Patrick's Day threw up on itself.
Yeah.
I've got lights.
It's not elaborate though. Did they have strobe lights at the tent or what? Just loud music?
I understand the tent was very ornate. A lot of decoration on the tent itself.
A horn section?
What?
A horn section.
No.
I just have a rough time thinking that obviously they brought everything for their tent in order to be seen.
Right.
Can there really be at a show where you want to attract attention a tent that is too elaborate?
I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's my booth. And you see, I got a big scroll wheel. I got 2 tablets running. I got arrows pointing at my logo.
You have a lot of numbers rolling on your screen too.
Yeah, those are different numbers that we keep up. Like how many?
The one on the upper left is how many comics I'm selling right now. Is that what it is? Or upper right?
12 releases actually. That needs to be adjusted too.
It's who?
12 releases.
12 releases.
Yep.
Now it's 3,100. Hope you're happy.
That's 3,100 energy drinks per year that I.
Oh, okay.
We all consume. It's all different stats.
No wonder it's all that energy drinks you ingest.
Yeah, we've but my table is ridiculous. Oh, it's okay. No, my table is ridiculous, and I fear for me being told this pretty soon that Varian, your booth is too elaborate.
Sounds like there was some hardcore jealousy going on.
Yeah. Well, what's a specific thing that made it too elaborate? Like, what was it?
I was told that every other artist there, you are allowed to bring your own tent. Let me qualify that first. This person had a big, like, black bar tent, like with the nice designs on it, and they were totally able to buy. I guess they went more gazebo versus your quick standard pop up
Again,
Yeah.
just because they wanted to spend the money and attract the people,
Yeah.
that shouldn't, keep them from, being asked to tone it down. They're playing loud music, or they had, like I said, belly dancers or something going around.
Yeah.
That was distracting from the other tents. That would be one thing. But
funny because the young lady who told me this, she said that the person complained. She said she didn't. It was her first show, so she went over and she told him, another artist is complaining that your tent is too elaborate and too fancy, and it's not right. And the guy went over to 3 artists that were around him and said, "I'm sorry that you feel my art is better than yours." So he really just
wow.
it's like he just oh man, he was really
Nice dagger.
Yeah. And then another guy got in her face about none of the artists could get along together. And this is a fine arts situation that happened out in Royal Oak.
it was more of an art. Wow, Royal Oak. Okay.
Yeah.
Uppity.
Yeah, she did a lot of painters and craft makers. And then the one lady, she was like, "I have
your tent's just too elaborate."
Yeah.
Get away from me. I'm selling paintings. Go on.
You can't tell other distributors. Other people.
Take them to the
I think
woodshed.
it would be worse if they were complaining that your display wasn't elaborate enough.
Yeah.
Hey,
mine is
not good enough.
My display is borderline tacky, and I'm proud of that. I'm like, what?
Well, you're at a Comic-Con, man. You can do anything pretty much.
Yeah, I got tassels I've been waiting to use. Randy, you joke about tassels. Lola will tell you, I've got some tassels I've been waiting to use.
They're gold.
Yep. It's gonna look like it's gonna look horrible. Ted, here's
Ted, are you there, buddy?
All right,
Okay.
cool.
Yep,
cool.
I'm here.
We had mentioned. Did you? I know you heard Brian's story about his book, especially Staunch Ambition, and I thought your both of your books are sci-fi books, and they both kind of ask the question about what it means to have a soul or to be human in a way. Is that something that you were interested in when you were younger? That question, answering that question.
I think so. I was raised in a pretty Catholic family, so I went to parochial school. So, I was either damned to cry with the sinners, or laugh with the saints, or vice versa. So I think that I was always worried whether I was going to burn in hell. So, I guess so. Yeah.
My wife was raised Catholic, and I've said this on Facebook. I definitely plan on switching to Catholicism when I get later and older. Around if I make it to 60, I'm switching over to Catholicism. I need that get out of hell free card, and oh man, I'm switching over. I'm waiting. Though it's in my heart.
You just have to buy the right Monopoly game.
No,
That's right. Get out hell free.
no,
That's it.
I'm switching over to Catholicism,
Is that how it works?
and I'm waiting, and all the bad things that I've done, I'm getting forgave for, and I'm ascending into the heavens. Screw this. But until then, I'm gonna be a bastard.
I think it's happening right now.
Yeah. I was told that plan won't work because I'm planning on doing that, and it won't work. It's gonna, but I'm gonna give it the old try. I'm gonna, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And that's what
It's what's in your heart. It's what's in your heart that counts.
Yeah, and that's
the problem. Yes.
Ted,
that's the problem. That is true.
Ted, you're at a con this weekend. You're at Flint.
Yep. I'm going to be up there with Randy, and we're going to be selling some Retrieve comics, and some sketches, and selling some artwork. And
Are you now this is your second show with your book out?
Correct.
Yeah.
And be the second. Yep.
So you haven't
This
got
time-
as you haven't got as jaded as Brian.
Yes, from Randy.
He's still got a glow about him.
Yeah.
You could see me, man. I'm just worn down.
There is a point where, like,
That's not the mask. The real way he looks is behind him on that picture behind him.
yeah.
That's how he actually is.
What's I guess I'll ask everybody here. Randy, most shows done in a year.
Oh, dude, you don't want to go there.
Whoa.
You don't want to go
Well,
there.
I mean,
There was a
what
period
kind of
of
shows
time-
are you talking about?
There was a period of
Comic
time
Con.
during Arrow Comics. I was doing two different shows every weekend.
Randy, that night I used to see you at the Dearborn when the Motor City Con was at Dearborn Civic Center, right?
Mhm.
The good old days, yeah. Those were
time
my
ago,
first
yeah.
shows back then.
Yeah, I did the shirts for Motor City for their main show for 30 years in a row, except for not
Nice.
quite in a row because Valiant did a shirt one year. That was a disaster. But other than that, I did 29 out of 30 shirts, and I attended I think the first 30, at least the first 27, 28 Motor City cons as a guest.
I remember talking to you back then, and when
I'm
I first
sorry.
met you.
If I burned that bridge, buddy, I apologize.
Somehow I still got into comics.
Okay, well that's good. Are you still staying into comics? First
Yeah.
time I had my art critiqued by somebody I considered to be a professional. It threw me out of comics for quite a while.
Let me get
Oh
on
wow.
let me get on the mute button.
The mute button.
I was ready to mute you. I was ready. Yeah, see, we had Hart Fisher on about a week ago.
A week ago.
Yeah, and it taught me how to get quick with the mute button. But I wasn't quick at all that day. But now I'm waiting. I'm like, what's Randy about to say? He's about to burn a bridge. I got it. Hey, you guys are. How about you, Lewis?
I got to get the lighter first.
Lewis, most shows you've done a year.
Me?
Yeah.
132.
In a year?
Mhm.
Christ. Okay, and Brian?
I've probably done maybe 12 at the most, give or take.
Yeah, see, I'm nowhere near. Well, I'm probably around your number, around 12. I think we've done a little bit more, though. I think
We did about 15, 16 back in 2012.
Lewis, how many of those shows were 2-day shows?
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Damn.
Think about it.
See, Ted's gonna lose that glow he's got. At some point, it's gonna be like, I'm like, oh, it's 10 o'clock. Wait, it's 10 o'clock. I gotta.
Oh, it's 10 o'clock. Here we go.
Yeah. At some point, he's going to say, "Fuck that Comic-Con. I'm not doing it. This is bullshit." And these people and their empty hands at cons, and then you'll start going to rate that Comic-Con and bitching on the board.
Just don't let it become a job. That's all.
Too late.
That's hard to do.
I know it is. It's very hard to do. I bought a sketchbook a long time ago to remind me not to let it be a job. That
Nice.
I'm here because I want to be here. I love being here. So
Ted, now you've been going to Comic-Cons
That's true.
before you got into the business. Is there anything that you expected that has not been good or bad, that hasn't been what you expected? Is there anything that you thought about the industry getting in that you found was proven to be false or true?
I think that there's more competition with creators than I thought. That there's I don't like seeing especially in the environment that we're in to be as how do I put it? I don't like to see format, but I don't like to see it rear its ugly head around families and everything.
I'm sorry, I wasn't laughing, Jim. I was ready for the mute button. I was ready for the mute button. Are you? And I get that. I get that. There's things that you never see in the industry. On a professional level, I think when I did my first show. I had a box full of this is my book, my tablecloth, and a little sign that said, you know, the name of my company at the time, and that's it. Now, Ted has seen it. I gotta. It takes me like 2 loads to get in and out.
Oh yeah.
But Brian, how many?
Because your display is too elaborate.
I was gonna talk to you about that, man.
Yeah, yeah, like you know, we're talking about elaborate displays. Variant.
Viking Yoda's first show was Saginaw.
Was he at that? Yeah, you did have him, didn't you?
It's at Saginaw.
Yeah.
He'll be there in at the show this weekend.
Yeah, Brian, you should probably get up there for that show, that Saginaw show that Randy has. Saginaw really came out for.
We figured nobody would show up, and I love the marketplace up there. First thing they did is they contacted the media and told them Comic-Con was coming to Saginaw.
Mhm.
All the media come out thought San Diego was coming. Comic-Con's coming to Saginaw. Oh my God, it'll be
Yeah,
huge.
use that.
No,
term.
no, it's a one-day show. Come on.
Having said that, let's see here.
But Viking Yoda was there.
Now, Ted, have you had anybody? I know your books went out. I know because I'm your publisher, and I sent most of those books out. He actually holds currently the highest number of Last Call comics sold at one point through our website. He has that. He broke that record. So,
Setting records.
yeah.
Got to do it. Somebody's got to hold it.
Have you received any backlash about your book? Anybody wrote you and said, "Hey, I don't like your subject matter yet"?
The Vatican hasn't called me yet. So
Okay.
That's good.
You might be safe for a while on that one.
Right. I'm gonna try to ride that one out. Let's give him a busy signal.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had anybody. I've had people say that I've had people say a few things as far as the delivery costs are more expensive than the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well,
Yeah.
you should have just come to the Comic-Con. That would have saved you a few bucks. But that's, I'm thankful that they purchased nonetheless. But and backlash. So in fact, I've had more people. I've already had every person that has gotten a book, every order list. People are already starting to ask for the next one, which is in the interim now. It's not ready quite yet, but it's in the interim. So, but no
Brian,
backlash. Everything's been positive, very positive.
do you send out your own books, Brian?
Mail them out? Yeah, I do.
You mail out your how's your mailing process? Is it do you use like Gemini mailers, or what are you using?
Yeah, I just ordered some mailers. I got some bubble wrapped ones, and I got some like more sturdy like cardboard ones for depending on what I'm mailing out. And then I only mail out my smaller prints, not the large posters, because it's just not worth it. But to try to mail out something so large, mine don't roll up. But one of the things that's killing me is the international. The cheapest I can mail out, let's say this Infernal City Firehouse is a 76-page book, graphic novel, and it's like the cheapest I can find to mail that international is $18. So yeah, you're looking at the book itself is 15, and the shipping is 18. How do you reconcile that? So obviously, other than digital, I don't know what to do with international shipping. Being I'm an independent publisher. I'm self-published, I should say.
I wonder if because I've been using the Gemini mailers, and I do a couple other things in that. There's a process to packing books, and I'm not sure if people realize that, but like when you're stacking 2 comics, you don't want to put the seams on the same side. You want to flip the book over, and besides bag and board them, and then the Gemini mailer is like the premier book in terms of a premier boxing like resources that we have right now, and you can box the boxes are pretty much indestructible other than a car rolling over it, and I think that everybody who got Ted's book, they said they came in mint condition, which is good.
Yeah, you want that.
Everybody, yeah. I had no, not one person say it came in damaged at all. So I mean that speaks volumes. So I mean that's I'm not saying that you're going to sell eggs and send them across the country, but if you can send a comic book not damaged, that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, and the boxes.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Kudos to Gemini too.
Yeah, I didn't want to send the books out. And Brian, have you ever seen the Gemini manual, Brian?
I'm not sure what you're referring to with a Gemini, but
Yeah.
this is I could show you one of my mail envelopes is like a geez, if I can get this left and right thing going. There we go. So this is like a sturdier mailer that I use, and of course, you bag and board them, so they're gonna go inside there, and then they're gonna also be protected. I bought these bulk on Amazon somewhere. I don't know, but
Yeah, I mean, anything you can do. That. Even if you put a piece of cardboard in the box to make sure that the book doesn't get bent, because that happens. I'll share with you. They're not sponsoring this show at all. Wink, wink. I promise. But here are the Gemini.
Sure, you don't got stock in that too?
No, I'm not talking that. That's yeah, I'm totally I'm totally
This
doing
world
this
in
for-
Gemini.
Yeah. They should send me some free boxes. I'll talk to Gemini. I'll send them a message tomorrow. But the cool thing is these actually fit and can fit in a priority mailbox. And so you can drop your pricing if you need to. We've been talking on this show though a lot, guys, about media mail. Brian, do you use that at all?
Media mail?
Yeah.
No. No, I've been using just the basic mail.
Okay, media mail is a little bit cheaper. It's for books. The thing is, the books can't have any ads in them, and you could send a comic book, across country for a little under $3.
Oh, media mail. Yeah. No,
Yes.
you're right.
Yeah.
I do send media mail.
And we were talking about that on the show because I went to the post office recently, and I tried to send some books out media mail, and they were like, "Nope, you can't do that." And if they open the book and they find out it's a comic book, they will not send your mail because they said
You could send out graphic novels like mine because I don't have advertisements in it.
right.
So, but yeah, if you have advertisements, and supposedly you're not supposed to be able to send prints out.
Yeah, you apparently you can send but you have the CD too, so I think that helps you because you throw that CD in there and you're like, hey, this is a CD and a book. We have to send this now. But I recently switched over to stamps.com, so I'm saving money anyway when I strip. It's great. It's terrific. So
Does anybody know the cheapest way to send international?
print the book or you're sending it.
I don't know, like if you wanted to send it to Europe, let's say.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Print the book where you're sending it. Find a shop.
Put the book over there and ship it. Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
people that will do that.
There is no easy way for international
Yeah.
mail that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking, if you either did some kind of bulk or if you did, but you'd have to be connected to either a distributor or who knows what. So
Yep.
I get my books printed at Greco in Plymouth over here, though. So.
Eric Hodson, who's been on the show, he had someone make order a print, and they were over in Europe, and it was shipped for him to actually have the print done there and sent to the person.
Is it like on an on-demand?
Yeah, it was an on-demand thing. Now,
Oh, I should look at that because then you can get them printed as needed, and then the shipping probably over there would be similar to just shipping it in over here.
yeah, it was cheaper for him. Now I'm not sure how that worked for an entire book. You might have to suck it up and just send it. I know I sent some comics to the UK. It took about 5 days?
Yeah.
About a little bit, a week or a little under a week to get there, and they were very happy with it. So yeah, do me a favor, guys. Randy, you can
Yes.
be the leader. Why step away for a second?
What? You got to step away for a second?
You be the leader. Why step away?
Oh God.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Somebody has to take a potty break.
Yes.
So, Brian, again, that's awesome products there, man. It looks good.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
It's humbling to
Beautiful.
get it. You put your stuff out there, and then and then I
Can't see
start,
you.
you know, I don't know if I start to second guess and wonder how it will be received, but it's been humbling that the reception, as Ted was talking about, he's been getting good feedback, and
Yeah.
it's been all positive, and it's nice when people see it that are pros like you and you compliment it. I appreciate your.
Well, it's very professional looking work, man. I wouldn't pull your leg if I didn't like it. You know, I'd just be quiet.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, well, I
looks good.
figured if I was gonna spend
Your
so much
graphic
time
novel looks
working on it.
awesome. I look forward to reading it. I do.
Okay. You know, I
Looks
couldn't
really
be
good.
happier with how it turned out, and it's so exciting. So thanks, man. I think the story and everything, it definitely lands, especially being based on true stories and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, one of the
Sounds
things was I wanted to do it as professional as possible. I didn't want to just, you know, sometimes independent books can look rushed or because it's hard to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it is.
it is so hard. That's why there's an assembly line, right, to build a comic.
Yep.
It's so much work.
Right.
It is. Can be. Especially working on a graphic novel. That can be a ton of work. Looks like your guy did an awesome job.
Poor Irwin.
on those
Having to
great
work with
books.
What's his name again?
His name's Irwin Arosa.
Has he done anything else in comics?
Yes, he's worked on my two books, Staunch Ambition and Pearl City Firehouse. But he's
Okay.
he worked on the one Kickstarter I supported is where I saw him. That it's the only Kickstarter I've never received my product. It was called Hobson's Choice. So
Okay.
that one never came out. But he also does most all the work for a book called Grenadon. I think I have a poster up here. Let me show you if you can see behind me.
What
his
kind of
work.
book is that?
This is, kind of like, you guys see that poster?
Yeah, it looks like a sorcerer.
Yeah, it's kind of like, the medieval, what's that HBO series?
Like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not sure if it's exactly like that, but obviously the time period and the characters. But Grenadon is like even like 100 and some pages each, and they've done like 4 volumes. So
Really?
Irwin has done a crap load of work on that, and that's black and white as well. So it's
Where is
all
he?
Irwin's original.
Is he a
What's that?
local guy? Is he? He
No,
seems
Irwin's in the Philippines.
okay. I was gonna say I'd never heard of a book before, but that would be pretty awesome. It
Well,
looks good.
Grenadon's not done in the Philippines. I might have a copy laying around, but maybe not. But Grenadon, the creator is an American guy, but Irwin is in the Philippines. So
And he's printing it's being printed here in the States.
I'm not sure where Grenadon gets printed. If he goes through
Distributed here in the States. It's written in English.
Yeah. He's done several Kickstarters. I think he's all self-published. I don't think he goes through any kind of publisher. But Irwin's art on there is black and white. He does all the interiors, and it's the horses and the knights, and I mean his art style, as you can imagine, fits that kind of scenery, castles and dragons or whatever. So.
What I was going to say is storytelling on the pages that we saw from your book looked really good. I mean, the artwork looked incredibly polished. So,
thanks.
He's done multiple graphic novels. He's had enough experience. So,
awesome. He's got such a knack for telling a story. And then, of course, I sometimes being an artist, I'm not just writing it. And as a writer, I also understand art and the understanding of how to do sequential art. So sometimes there's pages I just know how I want them to work, and I'll explain it. And sometimes it's like, I don't know, man. I just do a double splash page of this apartment on fire and the fire trucks, and just tell him the key components in there, and then he just goes to town.
So do you type out a full script, or do you do like thumbnails and send them to him?
I don't do much sketches or anything, but I'll type it out. I'll explain, if I want this panel or that panel and the main panel behind, bleeding behind the others and stuff like that. Usually I understand how I want the panels to be loud for the most part. But then what he'll do is a rough, send it to me, and then I might take that and put it in Photoshop and flip stuff and scale stuff and whatnot. So I'm not a layout artist. I usually wind up doing like coloring or I did the lettering for 2 books. So,
Okay.
and then I do design work and stuff like that a lot. But I've never had the gift to do what you do. As far as the layouts, I've always been so jealous.
It's not difficult to learn. You just have to stop overthinking it.
I suppose so.
It sounds like you've got a basic grasp of sequential art and composition anyway. If you're giving him suggestions on how to swap panels or switch things around and give it a kind of flow, then most artists I found just overthink that kind of problem when it comes to composition. They need to sit back and just allow their eye to guide it through the page.
Right.
And if your eye can follow it, your reader's eye is probably going to be able to follow it as well. You just have to be careful with the other things, the sound effects, the lettering, and that
Yes.
can be obstructing. You just have to be able to maintain that flow.
How many times have you seen good pencils ruined by bad colors, or have you seen good?
Oh, way
art?
too many lately. Way too many.
Because
ever
everybody
since I discovered Photoshop, yeah. It can be really bad. It's very difficult to find a good colorist, let alone a good painter.
And then the lettering can ruin a book too. You get some bad lettering on there, and it's just.
Now your guy who's the last name of Crane, right? He did the GIF, the cover that you animated.
Yeah, Clayton Crane. He works for he does work for Marvel, Spider-Man, and all that stuff.
I was going to say he seems to have an awesome color sense. The stuff that we were seeing on the screen was really popping. That was nice.
That guy does Spider-Man and stuff.
Okay.
That guy's.
Well, he's had a lot of experience.
Oh yeah. That guy's he's at the top. He's one of the top artists. So
sweet.
I'm back, by the way.
Hello, back, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, dad joke.
The Domino's pizza did not agree with me.
Back.
Well, I'm gonna be taking off too. My battery's getting low, and then I got to run. So, but I appreciate you guys. It was a little clunky starting out, but now that I know the format, I'll be able to make sure that I could just either call you in or get my computer set up the right way. So.
Yeah, a learning experience, man.
Yeah.
So, good luck on that. Are those books are available?
Yeah. Like I said, there's digital available online. I tried to. I think I put www Staunch Ambition in the chat. I don't know if that came through or not.
Good. Yeah.
But it's the physical books are can be ordered online, and then of course the digital, and there's prints, and then of course you get a song with them, and I'll sign it. If anyone orders it through the website, and then of course you can catch up with me at certain comic shows.
You'll be at Monroe this weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I love that show. I like Gary. I don't know if you guys know Gary, but he's a cool guy.
Yeah. Seems like a nice guy. I just sorry we butted heads on the this latest date, but I've never done a Monroe show, so I don't know. What's up for you after Monroe? Where are you going to be at?
We're doing the Columbus Wizard World because I want to make sure his stock goes well. And then I'm going to start hitting up some firefighter shows because, as you can imagine, I got these posters and these books, and it's like as opposed to there's so much competition as I think as Ted was alluding to, that there's a lot of creators out there. Everybody and their brother, it's like there's so much, and there's a lot of quality. So it's like sometimes it's hard to sell at a comic show. But you do a show where you're like at like a firefighter show, and I got this kind of stuff that's going to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Hope so. You'll have to come back on and let us know how it went.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to be back on, guys. I mean, I'll get more set up. I'll have my background better and whatnot. So
get your sheets up so you can hide your basement. Yeah.
Or
your screens up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get a green screen, and I'll have like a live animation of my book going on behind me.
Low light. Yeah.
People reading my book in amazement. I'll get video footage of people's reading my book, and they'll be like, "Whoa!" crying, wiping their tears with the pages.
Yep.
I'll be prepared.
Yeah. All right, we'll get you back on here. I put your website at the bottom of the video.
You know how to do everything.
Yeah.
He's learning.
Yeah, still learning. So yeah,
learning, yeah.
everybody check out Staunch Ambition. Check out Brian's book. You can order Staunch Ambition and Inferno City, and those books are they're affordably priced. Or you can catch them at a con, and you can get to right there, get to meet with him, chat with him for a while.
Get those books personalized.
If he's in, if you get him and Ted together at the show, you might not get a word in. Those guys are two loquacious gentlemen. All right, you have a good day, Brian. We'll see you.
All right, man. Take care.
All right.
Have a good night, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Take care.
And Ted, again,
Good seeing you, Brian.
your book is gonna be it.
Your book is
Your book is
Retrieve.
Retrieve, and you're gonna be at Flint Fall Fest.
Flint Fall Comic Fest.
Flint, yeah. Fall Fest.
Flint Fall.
That's all right. I switched a few words around this time so that it's not Flint Comics anymore. It's just Flint Fall Comics Fest.
Okay, all right.
Gotcha. Well, whatever you call it, it's going to be good.
It'll be fun. It's a fall show. That's what we call it.
I really tried to get Randy to call it the spell count for K, and call it the Flint Urban Comic Con. But he wouldn't. He didn't like the initials. So
You know, they've been begging me to do more shows
Yeah.
at the market. So
you should do a con where it's.
I don't know if I'd use a lot of K's, but
This is I was gonna be initials. Gonna be FUCK.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flint Urban Comic Con.
there you go. That would make for a great logo.
Say again.
Have a good evening, and I'll see you guys Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah.
All right.
All right, sir.
We'll see you, Ted.
Thanks.
Take care.
Have a good
Thanks for coming on, man. Good seeing you.
His Wi-Fi was dropping. That
Yeah.
happens in his
That
tower
was-
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, his generator was going down. Is what it was.
So we've been on for an hour and a half, and we have not done our questions yet.
Yeah. Well, I read one. Hold on. Do me one favor.
Crank that up.
Try muting your mic for a second.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Randy, but did the artist on Brian's book remind you of Gene Ha or Eddie Newell at all? Stylistically.
Oh, just in the fact that they use gray tones. Yeah. I was going to say the style really reminds me. You see a occasional, knowing he's from the Philippines would explain it. You see an occasional Warren book that's got that style in a Warren magazine from way back when.
Sure.
Would have that kind of look to it. But it's a really good, real nice.
Yeah, it's really
perfection
nice.
book. Yeah. It's very nice.
Are you what'd you say? Oh, okay. Are you guys with some of the books that we had on that? We had Staunch Ambition, we had Ted Davies with Retrieve. Are you guys noticing that there's a lot of the sci-fi books, besides superhero books, was that always a thing in indie comics? More sci-fi books, more.
Well, the cool thing with indie comics is you can do a lot of cross genre and a lot of personalized type stuff. But there's a lot of these guys will all have their own personal long spanning epic that can get pretty cosmic and science fiction oriented. It's very rarely that you see a really good science fiction book out there, especially in the independents. Albedo springs to mind, even though that was a little dry. Had to deal with anthropomorphics, and Galaxia, I want to say, was one that was almost very Star Trek related. That was very hot for quite a while. One of my favorite independent books, and that's one of these days, if I ever get back around to doing videos proper, some of these properties that have gone by the wayside that have such awesome quality. One of my favorite independent books was a little book called Xeno's Arrow that was out of Canada. That was about an intergalactic zoo.
I remember that book.
That was an incredibly well done, very stylized, almost cartoony science fiction series that ended way too early. I was a big fan of that book from the start. It's really good, very just everything about it. The art team on it, the writer, it was two guys that were working on it, and they were both, as far as I'm concerned, with that property, they were dead on. They were really good.
Ted Davies asks, he says, "Hey, Variant, you say Retrieve is your number one seller? Retrieve actually is the highest seller we've had through our web store. It in terms of our web store, it moves the most books through there, and so that's where it falls at. We are very happy with the sales online. Normally a lot of times I tell guys you set these online stores up, and that's all you're doing. You're setting up an online store. You're not doing much else. Mm-hmm. And so I was really happy to see those sales come in for his book. But a lot of times, and I think with Ted, it's how much Ted pushed that book.
Yeah.
He's out there promoting the book, and he's getting people to come to the site and purchase it. Not just from me, but also he has copies, his personal copies that he's taken, and he's moving himself to people that he knows up and around his area. So that helps. I think that when people do that, though, they end up let me fix my microphone here. They definitely expand their chances of getting that book recognized. You just can't, the publisher can only do so much for you. If you're out there, hey, I got this comic book I made, and really pushing it, and guys, that is actually leads into one of our questions. Let me see here. Okay, so do you guys think it's right for a publisher, and we know where this is going, for a publisher to dictate the etiquette and the behavior of its talent on social media?
Take it, Lewis.
That's from that's from Kevin K, by the way. So
hey, Kevin K, thanks for writing in.
Yeah.
There's Kevin writing again.
Yeah. I mean, is it right that a publisher can ask that? The publisher has a right to ask it, but the talent doesn't have to agree to it.
I thought Randy had a pipe for a second. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I thought he had a pipe. No, I thought it was
it's a pen.
Yeah.
That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard.
Yeah. I think that in today's overly sensitive society, as we'll say, that we have kind of a responsibility more for just protecting our own brand, more so than anything else. I mean, yes, you're working for an employee, or for an employer rather, but ultimately what you say is, and what you do online is going to be your own watchword. You got to be your own watchman on that. By the time employer is asking you to do something and change it, you've probably already overstepped your bounds on something somewhere. So I don't know.
How about you, Randy?
How do I put this nicely?
Yeah.
It should be in the contract.
Yeah.
Exactly what your social behavior is, and if you don't get along with it, don't sign the contract, and so the publisher doesn't have to print the book. Modern day social media, a lot of it is, pretty BS-y, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unnecessary to go through with the blockchains and the multi-block BS, because you never know who you're blocking. And I know this probably stems off of Alterna Comics and Peter Simeti's sudden clamping down on a lot of his talent, telling them to stop the blockchain mess because you're blocking customers. The object of being out there in social media is to be social. And you want to be social, and you want to sell your book. You don't want to sell your book to certain idiots that are out there who troll you. Fine, block them. Absolutely, because there are idiots out there and there are trolls out there. But don't run a blockchain, because you never know who you're cutting out. You're cutting out potential customers, not just, especially if you're with a bigger house like Alterna does, and Alterna is constantly growing. And this controversy literally added a zero to his numbers because he had so many, in my opinion, idiots run from the company because they didn't like his sudden social media policy, which is just basic good business sense.
Mm-hmm.
You don't run blockchains. You block idiots. You block trolls. Absolutely. People who are just hounding you, who are just, being idiots. You block idiots. But you don't block the friends of the idiots, because you don't know who out there you're blocking from buying your book.
Mm-hmm.
Just by, and you come up across a comment on Twitter and you go, "Oh, this person's blocked me. Screw them." That's the instant attitude that you have when somebody has thrown up a blockchain. Screw those people. I'll never buy their book again. I'll never buy anything from that company again. You don't want that to happen. You really don't. And you want them to be an idiot to you personally so that you can block them personally. But you don't want but you don't want the entire chain of that guy to go away. You don't want to institute blockchains. And that's what Samedi asked people, or basically told his talent not to do. Do not use blockchains. And they took it to such an offense that he lost some of his talent and started this big, what's the proper term for that? Dog piling.
Well,
on Peter. That was totally unnecessary and uncalled for, in my opinion.
Here's where the blockchains for me tend to be a problem. Sorry, I muted you for that. I was getting way too much feedback for it. Here's where they tend to be a problem. When people tell, like, okay, as a member of the media, when I go on Twitter and I go to look at a tweet, what this person say, and I can't see the tweet as IndieVolt because someone has blocked me. Because as a news and media site, I have to follow, or I try to follow, as many people related to the comics industry as I can.
Yeah.
And now I can't see your product because you blocked me because I follow somebody that you don't like. Well, hell, I might not like them either, but I follow them on social media so that I can see what they're advertising so that I can put it on the site. And that's where I think the blockchain idea is, Well,
like I said, it builds up that negative first impression. As soon as you find out you're blocked, you throw up that wall. They didn't like me. Screw those people. I don't like them either.
Mm-hmm.
So, fortunately for Alterna,
I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking more of a,
you got to look at it from a business sense.
No, I agree with you talking about. When you asked me to answer the question, I was thinking more Marvel and DC dictating to their creators not to do certain things on social media.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it still falls in the same.
I hate to brag. I don't think either one of those companies have made any type of social media presence statement about how to treat people, and they should. They honestly should.
They do behind the scenes. They do behind the scenes. They haven't done it publicly.
That's not my impression. Everybody that I've talked to, the only time they want to start telling people how to run their social accounts is after they've been dogpiled or there's some big controversy going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Peter tried to put Samedi at Alterna tried to put an end to that, or tried to curb that. And people didn't like it. Apparently, either the way he presented it, or they just didn't like to be told how they were going to do their social presence. So, fine, if they want to be idiots, they can go, and that's what happened.
Yep.
And because of that controversy, Peter added a 0 to all of his print runs.
Would you have a problem with that if you were running? I mean, most of us have. If you ask Lola, she runs Last Call Comics. Do you tell somebody, hey, do you tell your talent don't run blockchains?
I've never done that before, so I wouldn't even think about it.
I never had to run that, but I would run it now. I would run a paragraph in everybody's contract that says, no, this is your agreement. Once you get a book that I'm printing, you are not going to do this socially. Mm. And I'm sorry if you feel that's infringing upon you, and it's going to take you a few extra minutes to go around and block each individual troll. But that's what you're going to have to do, because you don't want to cut out anybody who might have a legitimate question that might turn into a sale, that might actually turn into a total commitment to the publishing company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't take that chance. The market is too small to take that chance, especially nowadays. You want every customer, every dollar that you can get your hands on. That's just simple business. That's simple, good business.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I nowadays, yeah, I would run a social media treatment on every contract I had anybody sign, and they would know not to blockchain people. Hello, Scott.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, what's up? We're gonna see you this weekend too.
You bet we will.
Yeah.
I have got the bells and whistles to attach to God knows what.
The wife's been bugging me. Were you going to spend it at the house, or did you get a room?
No, we got a room.
Okay.
Much appreciate the offer, but Susie and I have got all
we totally understand.
Sure. But, we'll gladly take those free dinners though.
Okay. That's not a problem, Scott. Thank you.
Scott, as a
I'll
long
have you at the show. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Scott, you've never been a official publisher, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, in a way, I have. We're only talking small press, independent stuff.
All right.
Nothing really, nothing even at the size of what you would say rate Arrow Comics was. Complete. I mean, I have published my own little books, and I have published books with other people, but I guess technically you say yes. I've dipped my toe into the publisher pond.
If let's say you're working for Lewis, and at Constellation Studios, and Lewis has you down, and you're sitting in Lewis's office, and Lewis takes a contract out, and he slides it across the table, and he says, and you see on there social media clause, and the social media clause says, you will give, because I understand this is, and I know this was the case for a job. Was it? It was a job that you had at one point, Lola, where they asked for. I think it was a job, but it wasn't a job. But they wanted her social media name and passwords to her social media accounts.
All right.
That's an invasion of privacy.
No, I wouldn't put that in the contract.
Okay, that's not in the contract, but a social contract.
Get to the say that. Repeat what you asked us earlier, Varian.
This is my show. I paid 25. Hold on.
You did,
no, because you're making it about me now.
I'm not making it about you. How did I make it about you? How did I make it about you?
Because you said me was the one handing him.
Go back and look. Go rewind the video, asshole, and look at what I said. Rewind the video.
He's just giving a for instance.
Oh no, he's crying now because I didn't make it about him. Did you hear what I said?
No. What'd you say?
I said as I asked her, I said there's a clause in the contract that says that you can't if you have to give somebody your social media password and password name. I didn't say that was in the contract, but that's not about Louis Brightraven at all. The problem with Louis Brightraven is he wants to make it about him.
Why did you come across that in a contract before?
No, yeah, we did. Actually came in the contract. Lola, you remember that?
No, I know you did. Yeah. What's this got to do with Louis so much?
Well, he just said it. He's like, you're making it about me.
The plug.
Yeah, no one's making it about Louis.
I assumed he was for instance. You're just giving me,
He's giving you an instance. Apparently, he can't take that. So,
but did he get into that situation that you know of, or what?
I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know. But
those passwords.
But my question is: does a person have the ability? Let's say it's me, and I hand you the contract, and it says that in there.
Now, when you ask for somebody's password, in my opinion, that's an invasion of privacy.
Right. It's an invasion of privacy. Now.
All right. Now, what's the full question?
Now, so if that happens, do you sign that contract?
I would definitely talk about it before I did.
That would depend on all the fine print details of why they're asking for the password and the social media connections. And if they were, I would want very much to know that I was going to be properly compensated, because there's quite a bit of value in any kind of social connection that if they want either control or full or limited access to it, that's really quite valuable. And they would have to fork over a fair amount of some kind of money and or compensation for that. I certainly would not just blindly sign it without knowing all of the fine print details. Certainly not as a matter of course.
The reason why they want a social media account is because password is because they want to get in. And if you post something they don't like, take that down. We're gonna take that right off of Randy's account, taking that right off of Scott's account. How dare Scott say that he was going to vote for whomever we don't like?
Well, quite frankly, that's an editor's job.
Right. Because here's the thing, because we have companies now that are telling you need to practice social media etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. That's fine. I think that it's fair to tell somebody, hey, don't go out there saying anything on social media that's going to reflect poorly on the company for employing you.
Mm-hmm.
But now, and we all can agree that asking for someone's password, asking for someone's screen name and password to any of social media accounts is a step too far.
Yes,
well, it most certainly is. That's like asking for the number of my checking account or something. I mean,
Believe it or not, I had that too. I had that too. Okay,
now wait. let's just back up.
You had somebody that wanted you to sign a contract where you had to give up your checking account information.
They wanted my checking account information. They wanted the branch of the bank that was at, the address, and the amount currently in that account.
Why?
For a contract?
Yeah, it was a contract to lease an office building. Just a small office.
Okay, well, that's different.
But
they're checking your account to see how liquid you are.
Yeah, but for Lola, no, it was a job. It was a job. They wanted her social media.
Yeah,
name and password.
They wanted to jump up there and throw stuff on there whenever they wanted. That sounds like too much of a spamming opportunity.
And I think because they also felt like if you say something we don't like at any point, we're going to go on your account.
And that's where you call up that person and ask them to remove it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would certainly not sit still for that to do. I certainly wouldn't sign away those that kind of proprietary information or contact or access. I mean, that's just insane. I mean, if say for instance they were doing that as a way of finding out what my liquidity was, there's all kinds of statements you can get from a bank that doesn't reveal any of this sensitive information. You can provide that kind of information from the bank without giving away any of this intimate stuff. So, for them to want that's an extraordinarily that's extraordinary far over the line.
Are you okay with a company having that clause in it? Okay, we don't want your password. We don't want your password. We do want to know who you are on social media, because I guess they could ask that. But
they can look me up on social media.
Yeah. But we do want to tell you, Mr. Roseman, we don't want you blocking anybody. So if you follow Randy Zimmerman and we decide we don't like Randy Zimmerman, or you decide you don't like Randy Zimmerman, you can block Randy, but you can't block all his followers, because that's a blockchain. And if you're familiar with that, on Twitter, there's an additional app you can run, and you can say, hey, I want you to block everybody. I want you to block Randy Zimmerman, and not just Randy Zimmerman. I want you to block everybody that follows Randy Zimmerman.
They want me to block all of Randy's followers.
No, they don't want you to do that. But that's what so many people are doing. Yeah, they're blocking everybody. So, like, as a journalist, and I'm not a journalist, but as a news site, I go to people and I go to their tweets and I can't see them because they blocked me. But they didn't block me. They blocked the fact that IndieVolt follows someone they don't like, and I have to follow someone they don't like because we have to bring people to news. So I try to, this guy posted, he's releasing a new book, but I can't see your book. I can't get into, I can't even contact these people because they blocked me, and I haven't said anything to them.
All right, now here's the thing. What is the end purpose to that for them setting up those types of conditions? What is the ultimate purpose of them doing that?
For the person who blocks, or for the person who
for any aspect?
For the person who blocked, I guess that they don't have to deal with you and your ilk.
That doesn't sound. It just sounds sleazy to me.
Yeah, I can't imagine that there is some constructive, positive, aspect to them wanting or doing that.
It's almost like this. Oh my God, you follow Randy Zimmerman.
Yeah,
I don't like Randy Zimmerman. Okay,
who does?
yeah. Right. I don't like Randy Zimmerman. I don't want to even be friends on Twitter with anybody who follows Randy Zimmerman. So they go and they put this block bot in there, and this block bot goes through and so that for it's eliminated Lola, it's eliminated you, me, well, anybody who follows him.
I can only think of about 4 people that would feel that way.
What?
So you follow
there's no. Well, the thing is, it sounds like that's a very extreme atmosphere that these people that are demanding this want.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut in on you, Scott, but
sorry.
Those are just people that are still alive.
Oh, yeah, exactly. The ones that have passed away are legion that don't want to be friends with that, right? But see, the thing is, it sounds to me that I wouldn't want to get mixed up in any of that, because we're obviously talking about people that probably have way too much time / interest / petty differences wrapped up in their social media world. And apparently that sounds to me like it's more important to them about that aspect of this situation than anything that has to do with, I assume you're talking about some kind of comic publishing, company or some type of content producer / distributor.
I hadn't thought of that. I hadn't thought of that. I hadn't thought about what you just said. It's completely right. I hadn't thought about that. It does say a lot about the person who is it says a lot about the person who is getting or is demanding that, because their social media presence is way too important to them. And that could be a major factor in why we're seeing a lot of this.
And anymore in the market, though, I can see some publishers not hiring, especially with the small knitting circle that is comics. I can see some publisher not hiring somebody because it's already obvious, for not having that the same political viewpoint as they have.
I think that and that really goes to
people have been chased off for having opposite viewpoints politically.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing, I assume your example has to do with some kind of publishing or some type of content producing.
Well, it's actually a question. It's actually a question that came in. I didn't do graphics today, so the question is, if does a publisher have the right to tell a creator or talent that they have that they have to watch themselves on social media, and that they have the right to ask them to remove any post or
if they properly compensate that person for it. Mm-hmm. If somebody is going to simply want me to do it because that's what they want me to do to placate them, I'm just not going to do it. And they're going to have to pay me very, very well, a very good amount of money, or set up a royalty situation, or have some type of legally binding contract that involves and clearly explains in concrete terms what the value is of this situation they expect me to adhere to. I mean, no publisher has the right to ask something of somebody without compensating them for it.
Right.
If somebody, like say, if Marvel wanted to hire me to do a certain book and they paid me to make sure that I didn't do any bad mouthing of Marvel on social media, well, then they're paying me to do that, and I'm going to be a good soldier. And if I'm going to accept that, then I'll take their payment and I'll do as they ask.
Well, logically, that doesn't necessarily hold true in the comic industry, because it's logical.
Yeah, exactly.
Logically, a person would not do that, would not speak ill of their company, especially socially out in public anyway, because they sign their checks.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just professional courtesy.
Right, but
If-
you would end up having to take that on a case by case basis, usually at the end of a editor's ruling.
Now,
Again, you keep that from happening by stating a public social policy before they sign a contract.
Oh, yeah.
Apologies, I've got a very important.
no problem. Lola's situation was a retail job when she was asked to provide her social media accounts and the password and emails to those accounts so they could log in. They wanted to log in and see what the hell she was doing and saying. And I think also they wanted that just in case she decided to ever say that job sucked or that job can, kiss her ass. They wanted to know. So they wanted to have that information so they can go in and remove that post.
Well, that shouldn't be like that. They should be warned
That's
that's what reprimands are for.
Yeah.
And 3 reprimands, you're out the door. Welcome to Michigan, right to work state.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
That's all you need.
now I will admit this, my very first company, I did have a clause in the contracts that stated that, you could not talk ill of the company online or, and in print. Did that work? No.
That kind of stuff's not going to work if somebody's mad and shooting off the cuff anyway.
Yeah. But
They're
it
not gonna
did. Okay, and the next question actually is from the same person, Kevin K. He wants to know if I think Kevin might be from the retail world as well, because he said, would a clause in a contract such as a 6-month to a year no compete clause work in the comic book industry?
Yes.
They've had those before.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Really? Wow, I didn't
Why do
know
you
that.
think Karen Berger took so long to get Burger Books launched?
You think her? I assumed it was money.
No compete contract.
I assumed it was money.
for years, and she was so talented. So
They've had plenty of people sign exclusive contracts. That's the same thing as a non-compete.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and if that was in her original contract, well, then that's what she signed and agreed to.
Yeah.
So that's one.
No, that was part of her.
Probably
They-
part of her severance package.
Yeah, package severance package.
Yeah. See there.
They didn't want her out there directly competing against product that she had already edited for Vertigo that they hadn't sent through the system yet.
If that's if that's in your contract, are you happy with that? I mean, if it's a part of your contract and you have the ability to negotiate,
If they're
kinda
paying
negotiate-
me,
if they're compensating me for it, sure,
yeah.
sure.
All right. Next question is
As with,
No, wait.
with Karen Berger's contract, I would imagine, though I am not privy to the details of her contract, she probably got out with a nice little parachute package that could keep her well supplied for, at least more than covering the time of her non-exclusivity contract.
Oh yeah, she got a full 30-year pension.
Well, there you go.
And that's absolutely because Karen.
Yeah. Then you're still a employee of the company then. Technically.
Karen Berger was just one of a kind. She was awesome.
Well, she still is. She's just over at Dark Horse.
Oh, there. Oh, is she with Dark Horse now?
Yeah, that's what Burger Books is at. Is at Dark Horse.
Oh, okay. Well, they got a coup with that. That's awesome. Now, Varian, before you start the next thing, I haven't met Lola, aka Candy here. I see she's
You see her at shows.
yeah, you see her show. It's my wife. She's always here.
oh, that's your wife.
Yeah, she's always here.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
She's
yeah,
just under a blue light. So
yeah.
she's a little alien.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought maybe it was just really, really cold in that room.
No,
Get her to laugh just right. She gets very familiar.
Wasn't that always the way in the Adam West Batman show? The Mr. Freeze's the room was always color coded blue, and white.
Mhm.
Always looked cold.
Well, that's Batman was amazing on
Man.
the Batman show for staging and stuff and color, especially they were one of the first color television shows. So
Oh yeah, and they made good.
very primary palette anyway.
Oh,
Well, guys know I got a blue light behind me,
yeah, I see that.
and then there's a light in the lamp over here that's hitting Lola, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but she's over there. So
Oh, I see. You're way okay.
yeah, she's way over
The
there.
whole thing, gotcha.
So yeah, that's also why you're getting such feedback from the mic, because I didn't think that mic would pick me up. It's picking me up. This one's picking her up, so I have to mute hers. But she can hear everything. You can hear them still, and she thinks she's too cool. She puts her headphone on one side, only on one ear.
No, I have ear damage.
Yeah, she's got some ear damage. So,
All right.
So here's the thing.
We don't have Viking Yoda wired up for sound. He'd never shut up.
Yeah.
He was from you wouldn't be able to shut him up.
All right.
Oh, he shouldn't. He's got much to say.
Is anyone here Chris?
Randy has.
Is anyone here a Chris Claremont fan?
Is anybody what?
Anybody here a Chris Claremont fan?
Why do you ask?
Work?
The next question is about the next question is
Go
about
ahead and ask. Yeah.
the next question is about Chris Claremont.
Okay.
And, I don't want anybody to like go off the fly at the handle because it's not complimentary.
Okay. Well,
So the question says, you guys mentioned Claremont sitting on the Marvel bench. Would any true creator do this? No true creator would, in my opinion. And that didn't have a name to it, but now what they're alluding to is that Lewis is Randy's doing the sign for money.
Mhm.
If you're getting that much money, you'll do it.
What he's referring to is that Marvel, much like Stan Lee, they've given Chris a contract because they cannot stomach the idea of him working for anybody else but them, and they benched him. Here's your money. Shut up. Sit on the bench. You're doing nothing. And he's not working. Basically, like the patient.
The thing is, we don't know what his contract reads.
Mhm.
You know, I know he has some input on certain things. Like he has had some input on the X-Men films
Okay.
as a consultant. He has had some input on the Gifted TV show as a consultant.
Mhm.
But you know, exactly what he's doing and to what extent he has, we really don't know, and it's it's hard to judge because we don't know what exactly he can and can't do, and what what he wants to do.
And Marvel must feel that it's worth the money, whatever they're paying him,
Yeah,
to have him do whatever he's doing, or else they wouldn't be paying it.
yeah, and Chris himself must be, I guess, relatively happy with that, or he probably wouldn't have signed the contract. I mean, because those benching contracts, if you want to call it, they're very, very clear about what they expect or do not expect from the creator who signs them. And
Right.
Randy's right. I mean, it must be worth it to Marvel to keep him out of the field, especially for other companies. I'm sure they have some long-term game plan in mind. And I'm sure, I mean, Chris is a smart cookie. He's not going to sign something, blindly. It must be worth it for him to do that. It's the situations where I hear about people that don't realize that there was a benching clause in their contract, and then they're very unhappy with the fact that they can't do any other work for X amount of time as much as they want, and they don't feel they're being properly compensated. That's a whole nother legal kettle to fish.
right.
And I would imagine if Claremont didn't feel like he was doing the work or being compensated properly, that he would be letting everybody know.
Yeah. And besides, even though he might be benched from actively being in the field, that doesn't mean that he's not spending all that time on the sidelines producing all kinds of projects that are going to see the light of day as soon as that clause is up. So
That's very true.
he's probably using it as some kind of secret production time or something,
That's what I'd be doing if I had any downtime. I'd be creating stuff.
But
Oh,
what,
God.
do any of you guys agree with the question, which is, would any true creator do this? I don't think he's a real creator. Is there? I mean, if someone tells me, we're gonna sit you over here and let you do nothing or very minimal, and we're gonna just pay you for that, I think no one's stopping him from writing. I mean, I guess he can't.
I mean, if they're paying me a 6 to 7 figure salary to do one comic script a year, okay, give me the money.
I mean,
You know, I mean, that's kind of what we're doing here. You know.
Yeah. Again, it's all in the level of compensation. You know, it has to be. It would have to be worth my while financially to do that.
Well, I imagine the point with Chris Claremont on this, though, is that if Marvel doesn't want him to go anywhere, they feel that he is a valued asset, especially considering the decade and a half, maybe 2 decades that he spent writing their #1 book and making them a tremendous, huge amount of money that's transferred into billions of dollars onto the screen. So,
oh my gosh, yeah.
If they want him quiet and slightly out of the way, and they're going to throw him an occasional work bone every once in a while, and he's agreeing to it, well, you know, that's better than a lot of these other creators have gotten.
I think you guys have all said taking over Marvel, you're reactivating him.
I would.
Randy, Lewis, yeah.
I didn't quite get that very.
If tomorrow you're the new editor-in-chief of Marvel, with, you know, powers to do whatever the hell you want, are you reactivating?
But I'd jumpstart all of Marvel in general, but I would definitely put him where Jonathan Hickman is now.
Would you put him off the bench, Scott? Would you say, okay, you're back to work?
If I were to take over Marvel, once I understood what was their long-term game plan about Claremont, and excuse me, and if I agreed with what that long-term game plan was and saw that holding Claremont in reserve is worth it over the long term, I probably wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they're holding him in reserve simply to keep him out of the competition's hands, have no other game plan beyond that, or is just some simplistic, you know, power struggle, of course, yeah, I'd dump him right in the middle of, I'd put him on the Avengers or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, I would reactivate him if there was no other good reason to keep him in this, new position.
In the Marvel Comics Slugfest book, which is wrote by Sean Howe, they said that that's when they decided they weren't going to pay Stan that $1 million a year, and they didn't pay it, and Stan's contract lapsed. So that's how Stan got out to go do those DC Just Imagine books.
Okay,
and Marvel shit bricks. If you can imagine, I'm pretty sure there was a lawyer running down the hallways at Marvel, much like that, when they realized that they realized that Stan contract, Stan was not working for DC. And after that was over, actually before those books hit press, Marvel had worked out a new deal with Stan and set that up and kept paying him because they did not. So is there anybody in Marvel besides Stan that you guys think was too important to let go? Would you have kept Stan on that contract?
No.
He was a little past his prime.
Yeah,
that guy made so much money he didn't need it.
Yeah. I definitely would not have let Kirby go in the 70s.
That's true.
Oh yeah, I mean there was
because that was a bonehead mistake.
It really was. I mean they honestly, seriously did not realize the value Kirby had.
And the sad thing is when he come back to Marvel, he was not the Kirby that left.
Yeah.
So, and whether it was age or what, but that was kind of tragic to see.
And not only did Marvel pull a bonehead stunt by letting him go, DC was almost as boneheaded by not realizing what they had.
Oh, well, that was intentional because from what I understand, Brodsky, who was up there, Sal Brodsky, I think the guy's name was, absolutely hated Kirby. Kirby was not, this is something that few people realize, unless you've read a lot of this history. There were people up there in comics at Marvel and DC who hated Kirby's style because he was able to churn stuff out really quick and in their mind, really sloppy.
Huh.
It was Stan that stood behind him on a lot of that early stuff because he could perform. That's why he did a lot of that early Marvel material.
Oh yeah.
And they lost a couple of really key people that were working for Marvel back in the late 50s, early 60s that would have been part of the Marvel universe if they passed on. One guy got caught in an auto accident that was doing, and I don't recall his name because I'm terrible with names, but the guy, he did a long run on Black Knight for quite a while. And back in the 50s, and Stan was going to give him a book if he had lived long enough. He got caught in an auto accident.
Oh wow.
And
Well, the thing is with when DC,
but he was really a big talent. Stan was using him a lot, back when he was hardly using anybody. He was right up there with Ditko and Kirby.
oh yeah, and
Joe
when
Manley?
he went to DC,
Joe Manley?
Maybe.
yeah, I don't think it was him. But anyway, the thing is, when Kirby went to DC, I mean, you could see that they had terrible disrespect for him because they would have Kurt Swan redraw all of Kirby's faces on Superman.
Yeah.
Know.
Well, that was just the start of it. They just treated him badly.
Oh yeah, and that was
way
unfortunate.
too early and let him restart stuff, and
it was just the wrong time for Kirby to go to DC because they were still enamored with all this old school Carmen Infantino, mindset, and they could not see the creative genius Kirby was.
Well, they wanted Kirby because of the numbers that Marvel was pulling down.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
He went over and did this Mr. Mirror, this whole fourth world stuff.
Oh yeah, forever done.
And they just honestly, the DC people could not wrap their head around it to save their life.
Oh yeah,
and it took them decades before. The rumor is, from what I understand, it took Kenner going through their files of character sheets and wanting to suddenly do New Gods toys before they even started going, oh, maybe this guy knows what he was doing.
I want to bring some.
Darkseid suddenly started coming into prominence again.
I have a question for you guys. I'm sorry it's off subject, but I do want to try to get through these questions because I don't have graphics for them. But what do you do if and this is a direct question from something I've seen on the internet this weekend. What do you do if you're not even sure if it's a vendor, maybe it could be a vendor, is walking through Comic-Con, walking through Artist Alley with buckets of lightsabers.
Buckets of lightsabers from Star Wars, discounted ones, probably not the real ones, selling them.
The toys, not
like this person here,
not real.
Okay,
walking through Comic-Con, selling buckets of lightsabers.
If they're doing that independently, they're out of the show.
Right. Now it looks like there's a lanyard around her neck.
That doesn't mean anything.
That doesn't mean anything. Anybody can be wearing a lanyard, but
if she was tied to a dealer, she's back behind that table with a big warning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm saying she because there's a female in the picture there.
Yeah.
Could be a he or hawkers outside of their general area. They pay for the space. They hawk inside that space. That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have to do that. There's a problem.
In order for her to be doing that and still be on the up and up, she would have had to have paid some special kind of fee to be able to walk the floor selling, pencils out of a cup, so to speak.
Yeah.
And even then it would be a problem because you'd have other vendors complain.
Randy, are you putting her out?
I'm asking her to leave.
Yeah.
Well, first, stick by your table. If you have to walk outside of your table area, that's the area that you sell. And,
Lola, you man the Last Call Comics table. I'm usually out doing crap. What would you say to this young lady?
I don't know. I would be upset though.
For the same reasoning we're talking about?
I guess, would you be upset because she was taking, she's in front of your table, she's walking up and down the aisle?
Yeah, if she's in front of my table, I'm gonna be mad.
That's a violation of boundaries.
Yeah. Apparently, this lady was walking around, stopping customers. Hey, especially customers with children. Hey, you like a lightsaber? I don't know how much they cost, but she was selling them.
There's that, because at some point she's going to be in front of somebody's booth or table or whatever, in which case she's taking away business.
Do you report her? Lewis, do you go report her, or you confront her?
Reporter, Lewis, reporter.
Probably reporter, but I wouldn't be the one doing it. One of my assistants would be doing it because I'd be busy running my table most likely. And if the show runner comes to me, then I'll explain more. But
yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
And Randy, you're putting her out. I'll put it back behind her table for.
I wouldn't put her out. I would report her though. If I was a coordinator at the show, yeah, I'd put her out.
Okay.
I'd give her a stern warning first. I'd tell her to stay behind her table, that she's infringing on everybody else's rights to sell their stuff.
And I think I would tell the vendor. And if you got anybody else out here doing that I haven't run into yet,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
you got 5 minutes to pull them all in.
Yep. No, I wouldn't even give them the 5 minutes.
No,
I tell them you pull them in now. I don't ever want to see this again from you, or you're not back at the show.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to give them time to find the people and pull them in. But
Tell them,
yeah,
you go pull them in now.
Yeah, I would.
Fix this now.
I would find the event coordinators right away and tell them what's going on, and then have them act right away.
Okay, but here's the thing, and that's an obvious one.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just obvious what she's doing.
Mhm.
This sort of thing goes on at conventions all the time. There's people always wandering around selling pins, selling little Lego figures, all kinds of stuff at these shows.
Yeah, those are the people you need to stop, though. A lot of those people don't even have a table or haven't paid for a space. They're just out there to sell.
Yep.
You know, somebody bringing comics into a vendor to sell or swap or trade or whatever is
That's
one
different.
thing. Having somebody go around selling Lego figures or whatever, that's no. They need to have.
We're talking about people that pay to get into a show and they come in with just pockets full of stuff and they're selling it as they walk.
Yeah,
that's no good at all.
And I've reported it, and it doesn't do a damn bit of good because it's like, well, there they are right there. Well, yeah, okay. Well, I don't know how much money they made. Of course you don't, because they were doing everything, hand.
Well,
Dave the Supreme says he's seen this a lot too.
Yeah.
Oh, those show promoters have got to get their priorities straight, because they're
That's why I'm so against having a lot of this knick-knack stuff at the shows for a comic show.
Mhm.
You want to have the knick-knack show, put that in a different part of the area.
Ted says he'd use the rented table and the rented chair, an educator.
So
hey, I'm not wearing a Wolfpack shirt, Ted. I'm not going to do the dive bombs through the chair tables area.
Kaboom!
Now I have a question. Now here's something that happened over the. Ted also said she probably paid off the floor manager. You know what? I have seen that.
Floor manager. Manager.
I seen a situation happen at a con. I'm not gonna say the name, even though the person isn't with the organization anymore. She may have lashed onto a different one, but there was a gentleman next to me selling his books outside of his table, carnival barking basically. Hey, check it out, check the book out.
But is he within 3 feet of his table physically?
Yeah, he was, but their rule, Wizards' rule, is stay behind your table.
Okay.
And and he wasn't doing that. Well, people in my role were upset, and they went to the floor manager and said, "Hey, get this guy." And it was so weird. Oh well, we made special arrangements for this person, and it's like, oh, okay, well, not a problem. Lola, go out front. Because if you violated it for him, we're all gonna do it then. We're gonna make this the red light district.
The thing is, if they made a special arrangement with somebody to walk the floor selling items, then there had better been an incredible amount of money exchanged, because that would be that would be so valuable to be able to just walk anywhere you want to sell your wares. I mean, that beats having a stationary spot any day of the week. In which case, they had better assure me that that's going to be open for everybody. But then that's not going to work, because then, you'll just be chaos.
There's a big difference between people walking around and trying to sell stuff and like having walk the floor and say, "Hey, stop by such and such a table. You'll see some cool stuff over there." Or if my mother, rest her soul, used to go around on her cart through the aisles and recommend stopping by my booth and checking stuff out.
Well, it's one thing to have a mobile promoter,
right?
But at least
they're not selling; you're just promoting.
Yeah, that's one thing. But
I'll tell you this: if they tell me I can move my table, I'm getting the kiosk, one of those ones on wheels. Walking through the con with it. This happened at a con this weekend. The person wants to come on and talk about it. A little small show. Okay, this person says they have lost over $3,000 worth of equipment and comics.
Oh,
It's all being held. This is a small show in Texas. Here we go back to Texas again. This particular show, the attendees and exhibitors arrived for the show. Exhibitors arrived to a locked hall. The venue promoter said that, the venue owner said that the promoter had his check had been canceled, and he locked the doors as well as all of the stuff inside. They were not allowed to get their stuff. One guy has been waiting in Texas for since Sunday now. It was locked on Sunday morning. They're not allowed to get their stuff out of the convention hall. Small show.
It sounds like all of the police is in order, because that sounds like out and out thievery. They're essentially stealing the material by not letting them get back to it. Well, what was this was again an actual thing that happened, right?
Yeah. This is at a con. He did not write the name, but I did reach back out to him for the name. This is a vendor. He is a comic book from what I'm reading with the letter. He's a comic book
and
illustrator.
This one vendor that the convention organizer closed off his access to his material inside the hall.
No, the venue owner. So the convention hall owner didn't his check didn't clear, or he canceled the check.
The coordinator,
yeah,
and the guy who owns the venue are in an argument.
Oh,
the guy who owns the venue locked the doors and told all of the vendors that they couldn't come in and get their stuff
because he was
arguing with the coordinator and had either stopped payment on the check or the check had bounced or something.
And the coordinator can't be reached now. The coordinator can't be reached.
Huh?
What happened to him or her?
No, he hasn't been able to be reached. So,
basically, not just this one person, but everybody's stuff that's in there is being withheld.
Yeah.
That's
a quick call from a lawyer to the venue operator.
Well, my question is this too. Don't you got to do another event here pretty soon? My shit's got to come out of there at some point, right?
Oh yeah.
It's got
all of the vendors that paid to be in that show. It's not their fault that the show organizer, wrote a rubber check, and they shouldn't be punished because this organizer has a beef with the venue owner. That that's like saying, I don't know what it's like saying, but this whole situation is terribly wrong. I would certainly get the law involved and
that's something that needs to be brought in.
Imagine being out of state. We're all from Michigan, but imagine doing that show. You're down in Texas and all your books and all your conventional belongings are stuck back inside the convention hall.
Yeah. My God, that's,
that would be rough.
I mean, Randy, your paper is free, but I know you do got some long boxes in there that have material that is worth a nice amount.
No, and I've set up out of state before I did the paper. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I know what I'm saying is the paper you get away for free. You probably wouldn't mind so much. Oh well, no big loss to me. But you do have some long boxes in there full of.
Yeah, there's something not right with the whole situation, and lawyers need to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
There needs to be calls immediately.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that just because the Flint Comics, for instance, is free, that still has some intrinsic value as a product. So it's really goes against any good that Randy can get out of it by having it just sitting inside a hall, because it needs to be in people's hands in order to live up to its true value. So
technically, the venue owner is thieving.
Yeah, exactly. And because like my prints and the artwork I might bring to a show, that all has intrinsic value. And because if it just sits there and I'm not selling it to somebody or giving it away like it's meant to be done, that's thievery of any kind.
I'll tell you guys this. If I first of all, usually what happens, I would know about it being taken or being the doors being locked because I would get a call from a very thick, accented, screaming person.
Like who?
And it would be this little high-pitched Italian voice on the other side. Because what people don't know is that when Lola gets upset, besides talking with her hands, if she's on the phone, she can't use her hands. So what you hear in her voice, and it gets really Italian and it gets really high.
Lola, what you do?
I don't
What
do
would
that.
you do?
I'm innocent. I'm an angel.
Yeah,
An angel with a sword of God on your hand.
she will go off and she bitched about our table spot at a Wizard World.
I get my way.
Yep.
Well, good for you.
Yep.
Good for you.
She complained so much one year that they actually moved us to a great spot because she complained so much and so loudly, and it was horrible. I was embarrassed, but I wasn't gonna say no to the table because it was a great spot. But yeah, but I would know because she would get to that door and be like, the door is locked, and blah, 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 and it would just turn into like all of a sudden you're in The Godfather.
Never, Godfather. Never be embarrassed by somebody who is willing to fight on your side for what is correct, for what is right. Never be embarrassed by that.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like the bookstore's issue in Chicago. Maybe the exhibitor should pay the fee for the owner that the promoter failed to do. That is correct, Ted. Maybe the promoters can all rally their money and.
Not if they've already paid the promoter. They're an innocent bystander in a deal between the promoter and the venue owner.
Oh, yeah. No, Ted, I'm sorry. I wouldn't pay a penny more. You know,
And
I would expect him to pay me a little bit for the trouble of paying the ass he's causing me.
and you got
That would be the threat.
You
That
got
would be the threat.
You got a hotel you got to pay for too. You got to stay there a couple extra days.
Yes.
Dave the Supreme said,
F that.
Yeah, F that. I imagine you get to the show and you don't have your money. Yeah, it's F that. I'm going in there. So yeah, that was pretty much it for our questions. Let's show a little backward today. I don't know if I like that. Guys, you and we still are still investigating everything we're investigating with the print deal that we talked about.
Oh, tell them about what someone said they wanted us to investigate today.
Okay, yeah. I will talk about that.
You might not want to get into that kind of detail.
Well, I won't talk about it much, but I will say this: there is a we were asked to investigate a situation about a legendary comic artist supposedly stealing his idea, and this is a character that's been around, Randy, 20 years?
Oh no, longer than that.
Longer than 20? Okay,
closer to 30 years.
Yeah. So we were asked to investigate. I will be doing some type of investigation and a follow up to that because this has been going on for about longer than 10 years, Lewis.
Yeah.
Longer than 10 years, this person's been saying that their idea was stolen. They didn't like it, and they want justice. And
are they going to pay you to investigate?
No one pays me to investigate. They pay me to bring the news out. But here's the thing: I've been aware of this situation for a very long time, and I'm willing to dig. I'm willing to dig and see if I can find out certain things. But I'm telling you right now,
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be unbiased.
Yeah, it's gonna be unbiased. But at the same time, anybody who says this creator stole this idea is probably
stretching.
Yeah, stretching is a nice way to put it.
I gotta step out for a couple minutes. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah. So we are doing that, and then there's Lewis. You are starting your new show this Thursday at 9:00.
Yes,
9:00 p.m. Scott.
Yeah,
you will be at Flint Comic-Con.
Flint Comic-Con. Yeah, I'll be setting up Friday afternoon, and I'll be there all day Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. One second. What'd you say?
I said I'll see him Saturday. I'll be there too.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. She will be there. I will not be there. I mean, you know, sending her. I'll be up at Monroe, but you know.
Oh, so Lola will be there with your table and such.
Yep. She'll be on my table. Yeah. We just, I've been double booked so much this year. I'm trying to get out of some of those double bookings.
Flint's going to get the better half. That's awesome.
Yeah. They're getting both Lola and Taylor will be there with his book Retrieve.
That's cool.
So yeah, we got that.
And your son will be there promoting.
Yeah, he'll be there promoting his Root Beer Press line and his drawings. He brings some original art. He has been working very, very hard these last couple of days on his original art. To the point where he thinks he's better than me, but he's not. I'm just kidding. No, he's actually. You know what? He's actually doing pretty good. And, I just wish that he would focus a little bit more on his He's got all these anatomy books. No, the schoolwork is fine.
Okay.
He's got all these anatomy books that I bought him. And you know, but you know, he's only 9 too, you know.
He's what, 9?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. God, give him a break.
Yeah, no.
Tyrant.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that my father, and I said this, and I think I told Lewis, my father came to me one day. Actually, I went to him with my drawings. And every time I bring my dad drawing, oh, that's good. My mother especially, oh, that's very good. My mother is an artist herself. She's more of a painter, but she started in illustration, and she went to she was in a correspondence class at one point, and one of the teachers. Say again.
Famous artist course.
It was
correspondence.
I forget which one it was, and she could tell me. But the thing was, her art got graded. And the name, I never forget when I'm looking on it, the person who wrote these details on her artwork.
Okay, well, anyway.
The artist who wrote the details
on the artwork or
physical, not on the artwork, but on a piece of paper that was attached to the artwork.
I was gonna say they wrote on artwork.
And this was from it was before I was born. So it was like the late 70s, early 80s. And it was from Charles Schultz, where they had wrote, you know, you work on this, work on that.
Wow.
And I'm like, and she told me, and I'm like, did Charles Schultz create the Peanuts? And you know, it's like, well, to her it's who? The Peanuts, Charlie Brown.
Oh my God.
She doesn't care. She's like, yeah, okay.
Well, then she took she had taken the famous cartoonist.
I think it was the way can you draw Timmy the Turtle, that type of deal.
Oh yeah.
They recently closed that school down last year. Yeah, they closed it down last year. They last year they closed that school down. I was very sad because I always thought I would go there or you know do the correspondence courses through there.
You two wanted to draw Timmy the Turtle?
Yes, I wanted to draw Timmy the Turtle. And
I started out. I drew the pirate and set it in. I drew the pirate thing.
What'd you draw, Randy?
I didn't draw either one of them.
How about you, Lewis? What'd you draw?
I didn't do either one of them either.
Oh, some of you guys, I'm gonna put it on Facebook. Some of you guys never drew Timmy the Turtle, and it shows.
I could draw Timmy the Turtle. In fact, that would kind of make a good video.
Did you know?
Kids, let's draw Timmy the Turtle.
Yeah.
Did you Did you know that Robert Crumb used to do elaborate drawings and send them in?
Oh, really?
Robert Crumb, he would do elaborate drawings
and send them to the art.
Yeah.
Just to screw with people or what?
Yeah, just to screw with them.
That would not surprise me in the least. Crumb, that type of misfit. He was awesome.
Thank you guys for coming on. We're gonna go out there, let everybody get some sleep. Good night. Yeah. Somebody's gonna get sleep.
Yes. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know, some of these part-timers. They gotta get to sleep. So everyone, make sure you check us out on. Obviously, we got a ton of videos here on Indie Vote, YouTube's station. You can also check out Indie Vote TV on the Roku, as well as Indie Vote Radio, which this is also streaming on right now. It'll be streaming again Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
You never know when it'll spring up.
Yeah, you never know what we're gonna do.
Hey, Varian, before we completely close out here, can we put in one last shout out for Flint Comic Con this coming Saturday?
We can. Flint Fall Fest.
Oh, the Flint.
It's the Flint Fall Comic Fest.
Flint Fall Comic Fest.
I
Yeah,
swapped the words around. Instead of Flint Comics Fall Fest, it's the Flint Fall Comic Fest.
yeah.
That way we don't have to everybody go, where's the paper?
Yeah.
Now remember, everybody that's listening, it's at the Farmers Market in downtown Flint. It's a great
September 14th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
It'll be
Saturday.
always a fun time. Come on out and
Good food, good comics.
let us regale you with fun and frivolity.
And it's going to be a jammed hall this time. Lots of people setting up for the first time. Lots of first-time books like Ted's Retrieve and the story of the piano from Josh Harris and Justin Faber's got a little Aliens collection that he'll be offering at the show for the first time. And
Cool.
there's all sorts of lots of new vendors. Lots of new artists setting up, like what's that kid's name? Caden, somebody. Anyway, he's set up there.
Yeah, good old Caden Grant. Last thing I want to mention too about your show, Randy, and this is not a slight. Well, and I guess it could be a slight at some other shows.
You're gonna slight my show?
No. You just spent the entire day putting grab bags together.
Yes.
That contain actual comic books.
There's comics, there's posters, there's magnets, there's original sketches. There's anybody coming in. It's only $5 to come in through the door. Like I said on Facebook, I'm not above bribing people to walk through the door. And it's like here's a bag. I got a bunch of bags from a retailer actually online that are the old style brown comic bag. I stuck a sticker on it. I threw in between 5 and 7 comics, and there might even be an August in there, buddy. I hate to break that to you, but I know there's a Scribble Monster. I know there's at least one August that's in there, but a lot of it's all just crazy. It's crazy. Some Marvel stuff, some DC stuff, some Arrow stuff, some massive stuff.
What I like
stuff, just stuff.
What I like about that, Randy, is that
some Malibu stuff, some crazy unknown, some Image stuff is in there. Yeah.
What I like about that, Randy, is that so many Comic Cons I go to nowadays, I walk in and there are tons of movie posters for movies that have come out or they get ready to come out in a year in advance, or there's some keychains, some State Farm keychains, some little squeezable she sheds. But there are no comics out there. So it's really interesting and really cool to be able to walk through the door and get some comic books.
And it's all good. It's all good reading stuff too. I tried not to get too many of them that were continued. A lot of it's nice single issue stuff. There's some John Byrne Fantastic Fours in there, and
that's gonna be that's gonna be.
Anybody gets an August comic in their bag, come by my table. I'll sign it for free.
There's not that many there.
Yeah,
I know, that's a rare moment.
I think I gave you the majority of most of them anyway. The last time you got a bunch from me. So
and any rare appearance of August those bags, I'll sign it.
There are a lot of Arrow Anthology 4s in there though that does have an awesome August story.
Yeah, the 10-page preview.
That people can bring around and have you autograph. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back.
Thursday morning. Quote the Raven pops up on Thursday, and Zim Geek is up there with 23 or so videos, half of which are teaching you how to draw cartoons. The other half I'm bitching about the market.
Well, we mentioned Quote the Raven while you were gone, but we did not mention Zim Geek.
Yeah, Zim Geek on the YouTubes. So
check that out.
And I'll put a link to that too in the
more stuff coming. I swear there is. After this show, I don't have anything planned except for a couple shows for 7 months outside of of course, I got jammed with a tremendously huge shirt order just like 3 or 4 days ago for a client that's going to take about a week to do. But it's a lot, but it's good. But,
and when is your thing, Lewis? When is that happening?
Thursday night, 9 p.m. on YouTube.
Yeah, everybody check it out.
Yep, Thursday night. Quote the Raven. He freaked out today because he couldn't sign into his YouTube account. But the crisis was averted.
Part of what happened this last time where I got cut off. There's something going on. I got to talk to them about that.
You might want to call. You hate to miss your first show, man.
That's for
Hate
sure.
to miss your first show. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We will be back here Thursday morning. Randy, we're going to discuss the pitfalls of crowdfunding. And I know neither one of us have been
See how
involved.
many pits there are here, but hopefully sometime soon.
Yeah, yeah. Let's hope that I don't know if we're going to talk about a certain book, but hopefully not. But we'll see how things shake out.
There have been a lot of pitfalls for crowdfunding, buddy.
Yeah, we will see
one of many.
Everyone Thursday morning at 9, and of course back here for Indie Vote Live at 9:00 p.m. every Tuesday night. Everyone, take care. Don't do anything stupid.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah,
you bet. See y'all later.
All right, we will see you guys.
Oh, hey, and before you go, you should thank Ted and Brian, right?
Oh yeah, thanks
Brian for stopping off, especially both of them for telling us about their books. So.
Yeah, that was really good. We appreciate you guys coming by. We'll have them back on, especially talk more. And now that Brian has his gear set up,
and tell them to spread the word to friends to sign in to comment. We'd love to have more.
Audience. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And next week's show should be a little bit better too, because I'm gonna have my graphics ready again. I promise. Yeah, I'm doing stuff to the computer after tonight.
We're gonna hold you to that.
We are, yeah. I got stuff to do to my computer after we sign off here tonight. So, all right, I'll see you guys, everyone. Bye bye.
Take care.